L2, Aunt Lie, Agent of Chaos, Dana, Volvo, uh, Damity, Domini, He Am I. What's up with you guys? How y'all doing tonight? Once again, it's Wednesday night, Twitter Space Time, and glad to have y'all up in the space with me as well. So, what's up?
All good, all good. Just at work, saw this space about what the hell while I was on break. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna
yeah, but
get ready.
mostly what it's,
Go
oh
ahead.
yeah, oh yeah, but most of that buying boycott thing, I'm more 50-50 on that because at this point, young Black Americans can't. Their buying can't depend on young Black Americans to vote for him. He said multiple times he's not trying to look for the young vote. He's looking for the old, over 50, geriatric, almost to the ground, but can't seem to get the max to feed on you people. And that's mostly what all they keep relying on year after year. And
That over 50 age group, that demographic though, he's got to have some young voters as well to win. That's not gonna
yeah,
carry the day
yeah,
for him no more.
yeah. I know all that. I know some young Black men still vote, but it's not like in mass where it's like it be like a considerable amount where it can push the Biden the presidency like they did in 2020. Again, my thought on the 2020 election, they again, I'm not changing it, but in this election cycle, it would either have to be the overwhelming majority of old Black voters plus some residual young Black voters in order for Biden to have a shot. And at this he doesn't because he has no young voter base to fall back on.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing right here on it. I didn't vote for Biden in the last election, so I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't need to boycott him because I ain't gonna vote for him in this election. So just to be, I get what they're saying and they're trying to push that out there and trying to get people, not to vote for him and stuff like that. But I didn't vote for him in 2020. I didn't vote for Donald Trump in 2020 either. It was a fill in for
I
me.
actually regret not voting for him. That's the one regret of my life. I actually regret not voting for him.
You regret not voting for Trump?
Yes, yes. That's like the one politician I actually would have. If he runs again in 2024, I'm not guarantee I would not vote for him.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't vote for either one. I just did a fill in or whatever. I did vote in 2020. I just didn't vote for either one. But like I say, to me, it's not a big deal. And I don't knock him if he's trying to get people to boycott voting for Biden. There's nothing wrong with that. But personally, you don't have to get me a boy because I'm not going to vote for him one way or another. That's just me personally. I'm not. If it comes down to all three, and I said that before in the previous space, if it's Biden, DeSantis, or Trump, it's just a fill in for me right there. I'm not voting for either one of them personally.
Hey man, Trump up and down the ticket. I don't give a damn. And he was the only president getting money. That was the only reason. I'm like, wow, you hate my guts. You want me dead if you gave me money. Okay, I respect that. I'll give you the office. But just not at this. And the old Black contingent, from my perspective, still are on that Democrat train. Democrats will save us. If you vote for Trump, you're voting for your own, what's it called, your own enslavement. That was what something they used to do back before Trump won, was that if you vote for Trump, you're going to be back in slavery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We heard that before. We heard that slavery stuff that they put that scare stuff up there all the time. So let me go ahead. Uh,
No, bro.
hey, what's going on, man?
You mind if I share something with the room really quick, guys?
Well, real quick, DL, DJ, I hadn't even got into the actual topic tonight, but if it's real quick, like a minute or so, you can go ahead and say something real quick.
Yeah, yeah. I just got back home. First of all, what's going on, Black? I see a lot of the homies in the festival. What's going on? I just got back to Chicago. What's going on, bro? I had to take care of some business. I had been out of town. I went to the police station to get something for one of my properties. And when I tell you, man, I just left the police station about 15, 20 minutes ago. Shit. This migrant shit, it just, it's one thing to talk about this shit on Twitter. It's another to see this shit firsthand. I got video, all this shit. Hey, bro, I went to the police station in Inglewood, which is the heart of, listen what Derrick Rose from, the heart of the Black community. It's like Compton. I'm from South Shore, but I was in Inglewood. When I say the migrants is in that motherfucker, in front of the police station, 100 deep, cutting hair. It stereo in front of that motherfucker. I can't believe this shit. Bro, it's black people standing in front of the police station just staring in disbelief. And they just gave them $51 million in Chicago today. We can elaborate on the topic. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. According to the room, I promise you, I just think it's another thing to talk, but to be on the ground and to be in the wind, I promise you, if the way this shit going, every black person in this country that's under that distress is gonna vote for motherfucking Donald Trump. I promise you, bro. Seeing black folks, I got it all on video. I'm gonna send it to y'all via DM. They in disbelief, in fucking disbelief that shit is happening, and they just gave them approved to give $7,000-8,000. So I'm gonna land my plane, brother. But I do want to, man, bro. I'm flabbergasted. Man, I'm flabbergasted.
Appreciate that. And go ahead and DM me and Professor and DJ when you get a chance, so we can take a look at that as well too. Because I saw that news about the 51 million earlier as well too. So definitely go ahead and DM all of us on that as well too. So
yeah. And one more thing I want to say, because I'm gonna get off. Because also, I don't know in the high cities and other cities, but just on the ground in Chicago, the way that they got them they could walk around. Like, they could basically walk around anywhere in these communities. It's asking for something to happen. You got little girls going from school. Well, I spoke to one of the migrants, my friend. He spoke a little Spanish because he was in the military. And the dude said he ain't even from Mexico. He's from fucking Venezuela. So we don't know who the fuck all these people is, bro. And it's just a crazy thing, man. Any little fucking thing could kick it off. It's crazy, bro. So I'm going to land my plane. I'm going to send you the video. Y'all want to question me? Because I was out there about an hour, before. And it's just crazy, man. So I'm going to land my plane.
all right. Appreciate that, DJ. Let me go ahead real quick, guys. And let me go ahead and start touching up on that, because I see the room is coming in somewhat too. So everybody come up in the room. Y'all share out the space for the night as well too. Let me give a shout out to everybody that's on YouTube. Let me go ahead. And this is from Moguldom. And it's up in the Jumbotron as well too. The article is in the actual Jumbotron. It's also, the articles in the description in the YouTube as well too. If y'all want to check that out and read that as well too. I see WPI, aka DJ, is coming up in the space as well too. So let me go ahead and send you the co-host invite. But yeah, it's titled "Black Chicago Group Calls for Boycott and Biden Vote Holding America Hostage." One of the Democratic Party's biggest fears, losing the black vote, may be closer to coming true. Slowly over the last few years, the DNC has been losing black voters, as some black voters complain that the party does not appreciate their continued support and has not pursued policies that would benefit the black community. Now a black group in Chicago is calling for an outright boycott of voting to re-elect President Joe Biden in the 2024 elections. The boycott of the 2024 election was conceived by a local activist and performer, Dennis Pitts. He told the Chicago Crusader that he launched the campaign because he believes black people are on the path towards alienation. We must weaponize our vote because it's one of the only tools left in the toolbox that can facilitate change, Pitts said. We cannot protest each individual incident of racial harm because over time that action becomes tiring. Plus, the establishment has already put measures in place to deal with civil unrest under the guise of curbing domestic terrorism. Pitts may have tapped into a movement. According to a recent New York Times report, black voter frustration is bubbling over. In fact, the share of black voters in the electorate decreased by 1% nationwide from 2018 to 2022, the newspaper reported. This marks the biggest drop of any racial group measured. Meanwhile, the share of white college-educated voters increased. Still, black Americans are strongly Democratic group, according to the Pew Research Center. More than 8 in 10 black adults, 84%, identify with or lean towards the Democratic Party, while just 10% identify or lean towards Republican. Since 1968, no Republican presidential candidate has gotten more than 13% of the black vote. But Pitts said his campaign is gaining momentum across the U.S. in predominantly black cities. The recommendation is we're looking for black Americans to specifically withhold our votes from Joe Biden in the 2024 election, Pitts said. We're going to delegitimize the political process here because it's not legitimate, because it doesn't include us. The goal is to basically hold the country hostage and withhold our votes under the threat of Trump being reelected. Pitts pointed out that he is pro Republican, but he stressed that blacks should withhold their votes from both parties until the concerns of the black community are met. Both the Dems and the Republicans are unified against blacks, but they also seem to be fractured themselves, Pitts said. In addition to how they treat us, they also don't like Trump. We need to be strategic. One of the biggest mistakes that the American public makes is that Trump is just your average Republican. That is not true. Both political parties are working to get Trump out of the paint. That is a theme and the main characteristic of the 2024 presidential election. While Pitts noted that he and his group is not looking to re-elect Donald Trump, but that this move may be the only political option for black voters to negotiate. This is not a pro Trump strategy, though it appears that way because black people not voting as a giant bloc for one party that does not do anything for us could eventually lead to a Trump victory. But that is not our concern, Pitts said. Going into both national political conventions, the issue of where black people stand and with whom we will give our power should be on their minds. Pitts said his group of organizers intends to be in Chicago when the DNC holds its convention. Right now, we're in the early stages of planning exactly how we're going to surround it, he said. No, we're not looking to get on the floor of the Democratic National Convention. We're not looking to get in the building and cause any kind of disturbance or anything like that. We're looking to get the fact out that black Americans are looking to boycott the vote. We're still in the planning stages, he added. This is a small movement that we're trying to turn national. The Biden administration may be feeling the frustration among black voters. Biden recently gave a commencement speech at historically black university, Howard University, and some say tried to scare up the black vote by warning of sinister forces attempting to reverse racial progress. During the speech, he said that white supremacy is the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland and warned a predominantly black audience that the sinister forces embraced by his predecessor and challenger are trying to reverse generations of racial progress in America, the New York Times reported. There are those who demonize and pit people against one another, Biden said, seemingly alluding to Trump. And there are those who will do anything and everything, no matter how desperate or immoral, to hold on to power. That's never going to be an easy battle, but I know this. The oldest, most sinister forces may believe they'll determine America's future, but they are wrong. We will determine America's future. You will determine America's future. He added, fearless progress towards justice often meets ferocious pushback from the oldest and most sinister of forces. That's because hate never goes away. I thought when I graduated that we could defeat hate, but it never goes away. Biden has reason to worry. Many black community activists have been reminding the DNC that some black voters' biggest policy priorities, such as reparations, stronger federal protections against restrictive voting laws, student loan debt relief, and criminal justice and police accountability measures, have failed or stalled. Folks are just tired of being tired. Travis Williams, a Democratic organizer in Dorchester County, South Carolina, told the New York Times. They're just sick and tired of being tired and disappointed whenever our issues are never addressed. Some of Biden's most ardent supporters are in denial. I have not found a lack of enthusiasm. Representative James E. Clyburn of South Carolina, who was Biden's most vital black surrogate in the 2020, told the New York Times, I just haven't found it. And people keep saying it, but it's not there. Pitt's vote boycott isn't new. Throughout the past few decades, there have been times where black voters threatened to vote from the DNC either by not voting or voting Republican or calling for a third party to be formed in 2020. And then they got Tariq Nasheed's name in here. It says in 2020, and this is what Mogenum says, this is highlighted by Mogenum. It says in 2020, Tariq Nasheed told his 250,000 Twitter followers not to vote. I don't ever remember him saying not to vote, but basically not to vote if there's no tangibles on the table. But he said not to vote. Nasheed tweeted, the smartest thing foundational black Americans do this election cycle is stay the hell home and not vote. Don't let any of these non-FBA groups shame you into voting when it helps them, but not you as an FBA. Nasheed is a filmmaker, author, and activist who founded the black think tank, the Foundational Black American Convention. Nasheed also goes by the name uh, Tariq Elite, King Flex, K Flex, and has produced documentary films on the history of black people and authored books for dating for men and women. The DNC is also concerned with black immigrants not signing on to the party. In 2018, Sharon Austin at the time an associate professor of political science and director of African American Studies, University of Florida, studied voting patterns of African Americans and West Indians in four cities: Boston, Chicago, Miami, and New York City. I discovered that while these populations are mostly Democratic, foreign born black communities in all four cities are more willing than African Americans to put aside partisan differences and vote Republican, she said. All right. So this article here was from Mogadum. Check them out if you guys can. So we'll go ahead and get to the hands. And I know Black Majority State, he's up in here and he's been one of the main ones definitely tweeting out the actual boycott uh, boycott of Joe Biden as well too. So it'd be interesting. Black, when you get a chance, I know you're working tonight, but when you get a chance, I definitely want to hear what you got to say about this as well too. So like I say, shout out to everybody that's coming up in the space. That article is up in the jumbotron as well too for those that want to read it or just retweet it out as well too. So Vovo, go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Vovo?
All right, man. I'm cooling, man. I can't stay long. Got to work in the morning. But yeah. I just want to say shit. The black community, we should let the Democrats crash. You know what I mean? We really should. I mean, we've been loyal to these people. You know what I mean? For decades now, and we ain't got nothing in return. You know what I mean? Like I keep saying, this been the worst president ever. In my lifetime, ever since I've been able to vote, like this guy got us on the verge of World War III. He passing stop Asian hate crime bills. He told us to our face, if you don't vote for me, I'm not you not black. His vice president, she cosplays black people, and she says she not doing nothing specifically for black people, but she don't mind cosplaying black people. They done finessed us with her. I mean, like, when do the disrespect stop? You know what I mean? Like, and we got some people that just gonna vote for them, just period. I remember being a kid and a older lady. I can't even remember where I knew her from, but she told me that just because I'm black, I'm Democrat. Like, that's just Not to cut you off. Not to cut you off.
Yeah. Real a agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, agent. Just go ahead and raise your hand. Don't cut anybody off. Anybody. Don't come off your mic. Let's let people speak. But just raise your hand and we'll get to you. Go ahead, Vovo.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up that. But yeah, lady told me that as a kid. So you know what I mean? Like, you always have some people, that you just can't get through to a bunch of them. You know what I mean? But that's cool. Let them go over there and crash with the Democrat. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be dumb, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, I said this last year. I didn't vote for Trump or Biden. I voted for Grandmaster Jay on the protest vote, but that's another story. But I was saying, around election time, we should be voting for Trump. I say this all the time. I vote for the plan and not the man. I don't care about the man that much. I really don't. Like, what's the plan? Where are we going with this? Like, I'm not no dick rider. I'm not no crash dummy. I'm not a zombie. You know what I mean? Like, what is the plan? And like, Trump had everything going good until the coronavirus, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I was making good money. Gas was cheap. Everything was rolling fine for me in my life. You know what I mean? And that coronavirus, that's why Trump's so mad about that. He keep calling it con flu and the China virus and all that shit. Because they fucked up Trump's economy. He had this shit humming. You know what I mean? Trump said he wanted to build a wall. Duh. Now look at us now. 6 years after Trump got elected, we ain't got the wall. We got migrants all over the black community. He been saying this type of shit. He had common sense policies. Common sense. But it was hard for the black community to vote for Trump because of the Trump supporters were so racist. Let me say this, right? The black people, white people have always been racist. They always want to be racist. That's who they are as people. You can't let that deter you from listening to the man plan. Trump, that's about the devil, man. That's the best option that we got. You know what I mean? So when you say boycott Biden, shit, I'm with that. I'm with that all day. I never liked Biden. I never he the one that he don't want his kids to go to school in a racial jungle. Remember that? He's still that's still the same man. He just old now. The crime bill that he passed in the 90s. I went to jail under that. I went to jail. We done lost fathers, grandfathers, uncles, brothers. They done did 20 years in jail for $40 worth of crack. You know what I mean? That was Biden's shenanigans. I mean, like, it's just some people that just gonna be done. You know what I mean? But man, we should let them crash and burn, man. Trump 2024. Appreciate you. Let me speak, brother.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you, Volvo. Real quick, let me give a shout out to let me go ahead and give a shout out to Sincere Love and at Hellfighter, I believe it was. So thank you guys for your contribution on Cash App. Agent Chaos, you want to go ahead and add something?
Oh yeah, I always wanted what he said really what he said earlier about there's some Black Americans that's gonna vote for him just because, and I resonate with that because with the conversation that he had, I also had a conversation with my parents, and verbatim, she specifically told me that I asked her, why are we Democrats? She said, yeah. I said, my next question was why, and he said we just are. That was like the end of that conversation. She didn't want to go into no detail. It was just it is. I think for a lot of us, it's just a matter of instinct or something, and that's disturbing to me. That's the demographic that's fighting, hoping to pull with him during 2024, and there's no reason for that because they're already made up their mind that they're already zombies. Their brains are already frozen. They can't reason. So mostly they'll be the main opposition for getting Biden out of office.
You know, I've been seeing this. I've been seeing it in Black majority state. He's been one of the main ones, and I've seen other people retweeting this out. Recently, the past week or two, especially, I've been seeing a lot of retweets of this as well too. So I'm interested to find out exactly, the numbers of people that's actually participating in this actual boycott. And I know they were saying in major cities, and this was this article was published by Mogadam, but it was a Chicago Crusader who actually picked up the story as well too. So the individual, they interviewed the individual, what was his name, Dennis Pitts. So they interviewed Dennis Pitts. So hey, I give a shout out to somebody trying to do something as well too. Like I say, I personally, for me to boycott ain't gonna matter because, like I say, I'm not gonna vote for Joe Biden anyway. So I mean, but for other people that's out there on the fence or whatever, I can understand as well too. But this election cycle here, man, you got a tough choice of who you gonna vote for because you got Biden, then you got possibly the picking between DeSantis and Trump like that. When they say the lesser of two, that's exactly what it is. So I definitely being from Florida, y'all already know I'm not a Ron DeSantis fan. So I would definitely not be. I have never in two elections have never, ever, ever, ever voted for Ron DeSantis and don't plan on voting for Ron DeSantis anytime soon as well, too. So that's a no. That's a no. Trump, Trump does seem to be the man that they want to get out of there, and I know this article is saying that they're not trying to go ahead and they're not trying to get Trump reelected, even though if that's, that's a casualty of sticking it to Biden. Oh, well. So I'm interested to hear tonight. I want to hear some of our people up here. We got a lot of people up in this space that that are definitely on the political mindset. So I definitely want to hear you guys as well too tonight. What you guys think about this situation? Because like I said, this is and I remember I believe it was last year the same individual and somebody left in the comment section. The same individual was trying to get people to go out and protest and not vote the past couple years as well too. So now's the time. 3 minutes of Black. I don't know if you're available tonight, but if you get a chance, like they tagged you in the post, Bold Wade tagged you in the post. You get a chance to come up in here. I believe this is your baby, or you're one of the ones behind it or whatever. So you get a chance to come on up in here. Come on up here and explain it to the people. And let us know exactly where you stand at. And I can definitely understand what you're saying. People are kind of fed up with the constant, not getting this, not getting that. And still, though, we got to look at it. You still got, from what they're saying, 84% of black people are still, registered as Democrats as well, too. So, hey, you know, we need to kind of slowly start chipping that number away. And I'm not saying go to Republican, but I would like to see more black people register as independents as well, too. Real quick, let me give a shout out to Carlos. Carlos, thank you for your contribution. And anybody, like I said, he am I. So you just came up here, so I don't know if you want to speak or not or whatever. Professor, you up here as well, DJ. Let's get the conversation rolling. I see Mr. Engaging. I know when he gets a chance, he gonna come up here and definitely let us hear it as well too. So shout out Mr. Engaging. I know you working this stuff, but when you get a chance, I know you're gonna come up in here. I see my girl Brooke over there. My girl Brooke is over there in the YouTube world. Brooke and all the rest of you guys over there in YouTube. Shout out to y'all as well too. Muriel, I see you said we need to make sure that DeSantis is not to become president. Hey, and I agree wholeheartedly on that. Like, I don't want to see Ron DeSantis become president of nothing. Period. I don't even like him being the damn governor of Florida, let alone the president of the United States. So I'm in agreement with you on that. I don't want no parts of no damn Ron DeSantis. He am I. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up, Newstoter? What's up to
What's up, now?
And the family. I'm just gonna be quick, bro, because I'm hearing some things, and it's like, well, you're gonna have to reach those folks when they're talking about the old people. You're gonna have to reach them where they are, not about all of the political issues that's going on. You got to hit them in their pockets, and the way to hit old people in their pockets is Social Security and Medicare. You let them know these illegal immigrants are getting free Social Security and Medicare, and you might have a chance at making them think, wait a minute, that's my money, because that's the way older black folks think. The other thing is, when they're saying, I think Pence just said he's going to run. So what if this happens? What if Trump gets DeSantis to be his vice president, and Biden kicks Kamala Harris and gets that white boy, that young white boy out of California to be his vice president? He's playing a game. You know me, Newstoter. I just
you talk about trying to get Gavin Newsom to be his.
You know what? Politics makes strange bedfellows. I don't know who said it, but this is what it is. You know, you think he gonna run? You think Biden gonna run with Kamala Harris again? I mean,
I think I think he is, for the simple fact that he's a sitting president, and then how often you see presidents change out their vice presidents as well too. So I think it'll be looked at as a sign of weakness if he does that.
But if he gets this white boy under him, he'll get a whole lot of those voters that'll feel more secure because he's demented, and nobody wants Kamala Harris to take that reign.
I agree. I agree that she's considered a weak link, but at the same time, you got a sitting president. How often have you seen in your lifetime where a sitting president says, "Hey, I'm up for re-election, but let me go ahead and then think too how that would look for a lot of black people." Now, remember that 84% of black people are still voting Democrat. How is that going to appeal to a lot of black people that are already supporting Biden? Because he's got at least 84% of them, at least by that report. So if he was to go ahead and say what you want to about Kamala Harris being half black and half Indian, whatever. We know the sister girl routine that went along last time. If you go ahead and you switch her out, then you risk alienating a lot of black people, preferably black women. You're going to have a lot of black women, HBCUs and everything else that's going to be up in arms, and they're going to say, well, wait a minute. She was good enough to run with you and help you win the presidency the first time around. So now when you up for re-election, you go ahead and you get rid of her. And not only do you get rid of her, you replace her with a white man as well, too.
Right, but who also gave them a reparations task force. Kamala said, I'm not going to do nothing for black folks or just black folks. I'm just saying, Newstoter, I'm just saying.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I I'll tell you what you did say that I now and I don't know, I don't think the two can coexist, but if you were to get Ron DeSantis and DeSantis would have to go ahead and play second fiddle to Trump. Trump would only have one more term to serve as president. So if you get DeSantis and Trump, if they could coexist together, which those egos, I don't know, but if say in a perfect world they could actually get together and coexist, then I think that you would realistically they would be really hard to beat. I don't think the Democrats and Biden could do anything much to keep them out of the White House personally. That's my personal belief. Volvo. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, Newstoter. At this point, we have to look at everything and leave nothing off the table. Nothing off the table. Because these people are playing games, like I said before. If he was going to do that, when he did what he did with the illegal immigrants in the workforce, why did this man not build up for the citizens to say, I'm just going to take 3 to 6 months and have all these programs for working, teaching them how to do all of the carpentry, all of the roofing, and say, I have a workforce now that can back up that force that I'm taking out. It's just symbolic. I'm just going to take out all these people, but no one's there. And you have people who can do the job, the underemployed and the unemployed. He didn't even look that way. He just simply said, I'm taking them out. That's it. Who does this? When the people just, yeah, that's a great deal. That's a great idea. But you put nobody there that can work citizens to do the job. It's a game.
Hey, you made some valid points there. Now, like I said, I just haven't seen it in my lifetime. I would be like I say, to me, I think for as much as Newsom would add to an actual, add to a ticket with Biden, I've never seen, and we've seen some pretty worthless vice presidents in our lifetime. I can remember being a kid and remember having Dan Quayle as the actual vice president of George Herbert Bush, the older Bush, and everybody made fun of Dan Quayle as being this weakling and just somebody that was just there, whatever. So I don't know. I just don't know if you and Kamala, her no doubt her ratings are lower than Joe Biden, but like I said, I just think that you would piss off a big demographic. If you want to see another chunk of black voters that would dip on your ass, then I would hope that they would go ahead and do something like that. Go ahead, because you got a lot of black women that still identify with Kamala Harris. So go ahead and switch her out and then put a white man in her place and see how many people, especially black women, do not get pissed off. And you have a lot of black men that's Democrats as well that's going to get pissed off as well too. But you're really going to strike a nerve with a lot of black women. Even though I know a lot of us say, well, Kamala Harris, she's really more Indian and black and this and that. It don't matter. She got her place in history as being this black / Indian woman as well too, and it came with the whole sister girl routine and the HBCUs. Oh, I went to HBCU and all this other stuff like that. So if you really want to piss off a decent size, a decent demographic of black people, go ahead and get rid of her, switch her out with Gavin Newsom. And then you're really going to have a chunk of black women in this country that's really going to be in their feelings about that. And a decent amount of black men as well, too. And they're going to say, well, that doesn't make any sense. We've never seen that before. But here I am. I like that you threw that out there, though. Don't get me wrong. I like that you threw that out there. Let me go ahead real quick to Volvo, and Black Majority State. I got you. Agent of Chaos, I know you had your hand up. If you want to speak, just put your hand back up, too. So I got you as well. But you got it, Volvo.
I don't like the fact that you threw that out there. That's just hot air. That's ridiculous, brother. That ain't nothing. That's just you just talking when you say something like that. Nobody replaces their vice president in the middle of trying to get elected again. That's just suicide. That was nothing. The vice president position is just is really a useless position. It's a powerless position. They tried to send her to Africa as a black woman to talk to the Africans and with an LGBT message, and she got rejected. You know, she finished after this. We'll never see her again doing nothing after this. This is it. She'll never be a president. She'll never hold another seat or none of that. She is done. She is done. It was something. It was so much said. Something about oh yeah. Let's stop kidding ourselves too with this the DeSantis and these other weirdos. That's just they just building their resumes so they for the future, so they can say I ran for president. They not, but Trump is the nominee. Let's quit playing. Like let's quit playing. Like we be wasting a lot of time with stuff like that. Trump is the nominee. Trump is a god. He is a god to them white folks. Period. Trump can walk in their house and have sex with their wife and they'll cheer it on. Get her, Mr. President. Yeah, honey, but yeah, just show him, honey. Blast her, Mr. President. Is like, and that might sound like a joke, but I'm dead serious. Look at my African American over there. What did he say?
I don't know. He was just adding on to what you said. Everybody keep your.
What Trump said. Look at my African American over there. Oh yeah. But I mean, like, you know, Trump is he the nominee. Period. He can't do. Trump even said he can shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square, and they still a vote for. He ain't lying. He told them to go in that Capitol building, and they went in there. Trump can't do no wrong. Listen, I'm a truck driver. I be in the nooks and crannies of America. I be in these little small towns where most of us ain't never gonna go. Where most people ain't never gonna go. I'm talking about little bullshit towns with one stoplight towns. I see Trump flags hanging all over America. All over America still. He can't do no wrong. Trump is the nominee. So we need to start focusing on that. Trump he can pick anybody as his vice president. He can pick Kanye. He can pick a fucking goat as his vice president. It don't matter. Trump is the nominee. So we need to get off that. As far as the brother mentioned Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is building his resume right now for the future. He's the future of the Democratic Party. He ain't about to be nowhere near no presidential talks, at least for the next 6 years minimum. He ain't around none of that right now. He's the future. He the future. They building his resume now. They working on their people now. So that's what we looking at. You know what I mean? If I would say Trump would have a better chance of what's the speaker name? The Speaker of the House.
You talking about McCarthy?
Yeah, he Republican, right?
Yeah.
That might be something better for Trump to grab. But DeSantis, no. Pence, that's already dead. You know, if Trump and Pence get in the same room, it might be some furniture move. You know what I mean? So you know, we need to start getting serious, y'all. We need to stop this fairy tale stuff. Trump is the nominee. It's Trump versus Biden. Who is you voting for and why? I appreciate you letting me speak, brother. I'm going to drop down. I got to work. I appreciate you, though.
All right, Volvo, no problem. I agree with Volvo, what you said to a certain degree about, you know, sometimes you still have guys that's eating, they may be a future of a party. They still go ahead and cast their name. And I think that DeSantis, I mean, the Republicans are looking at him as potentially the future of the party as well too. But DeSantis is going to go ahead and he's going to run for president. He's already running for president, of course, as well too. Newsom, it's going to be interesting to see what Newsom does as well too. So definitely, Volvo, you made some good points in there as well too. And Trump is almost becoming like John Gotti was back in the 90s before he finally got hit, where he was a Teflon Don. Like everything is just, you know, no matter what they hit the old boy with, hey, you got indicted, it don't matter. You go up 10 points on your Republican candidates. You got hit with a silver suit where they saying that you raped the chick back in the day. Well, it don't matter. You still go up 20 more points on your field or whatever. So no matter what they hit this dude with, it's like just bouncing off of him for real. So at this point in time, I thought some of that stuff might slow him down, and even some of his own party want to get him up out the way, and he's still rolling on him. So. Hey, he is like, this is the one thing Joe Biden did not want to see. He didn't want to see a rematch right here. This might be like.
Can I add one last thing?
Just one last thing. Yeah, go ahead real quick.
Remember when he said grab her by the
pussy, and all of them said, I'm not voting for him. Unbelievable. I can't believe he said that, and all of them went and voted for him. This part of his campaign strategy, all these little things that's popping up about him, all that shit is campaigning. His name is out there.
Yeah, not disagreeing. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna get the Black majority state, then Agent of Chaos. I'm gonna come back to you. How you doing tonight, Black?
Hey, man. Man, thank you for this space. This is probably gonna be one of my favorite spaces, and man, the reason I can't really divulge, but I love the fact that this particular story, which started at a very small Black-owned newspaper, actually is starting to gain traction around in other places. So shout out to the creator of the flyer and people who are kind of trying to help focus the message a little bit. So I'm deeply in support of this wave of Biden's poll numbers declining, and using that energy to really push Black American voters to really take a second look and not just be blind and just go into the voting booth and push Democrat and all of that crap that's been going on forever. So I think that this is a really good opportunity to at least show how defunct the Democrat Party is, but really focus all of the attention on Biden because he is the leader of the Democrat Party. He's the head Cyclops, Grand Dragon, chief in charge, and he deserves to lose. That's how I feel. He just deserves to flat out lose. Everything he said, as they always say before the election, we're going to do this, hope and change, we're going to do that, and we can do this, and we can do that, and none of it has come to fruition, as it never does. But I think for this moment in our political history, we have to show this person and this party that we're just not going to tolerate it anymore. Down in the chat, I put in a bunch of information. So for Biden 2022, 22% of the voters were Black Americans. 22%. So he couldn't have won without that 22%. Let me say that flat out. It translates to roughly 17 million votes, so almost 18 million votes. He could not win. No Democrat president could win without the Black vote. If somehow by some miracle we could cut that 17, 18 million number in half, it is very unlikely that a Democrat president would ever win in this country. And he's the one who needs to feel the force of that. The other thing, which is interesting, even though Biden got 81 million votes, Trump got 74 million votes, and that sounds like that's a 7 million vote difference. The reality is that Biden was able to flip Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Those are 5 states that had 3 of them and or 2 went for Trump. Trump would have actually been able to defeat Biden. So the numbers really in the votes are really like somewhere between 50,000 and maybe 500,000 votes for a Trump victory, because in these quote unquote battleground states where they can manipulate the vote, and this is why Trump was so adamant about those states that he was looking at, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and others, because that's where they can shave off votes, and this is what they do. This is what they've been doing for decades, if not centuries. They're masters at it, but this is an election where likely that was the case, and he made his case for it, but whatever, it went over people's heads. I really have seen, and I can't even tell you how many people I've seen posting this graphic, posting this flyer. There was a version with Tupac, now there's a version with Ice Cube, and lo and behold, as that version with Ice Cube come out, Ice Cube has an interview where he's saying we need to really start thinking about if we should keep voting for the Democrats. And he's not saying by default you vote for Republican. He's simply saying hold your vote if you don't feel like you're going to get your value out of it. not telling you to vote Republican. I would never tell anybody to vote Republican. We've said become an unaffiliated independent voter. Like, stop registering to vote as a Democrat, because actually what that does is it hurts us even more, because they automatically assume based on registration, they know the formula of how many percentage of people are going to show up in the national elections, how much are going to show up in these midterm elections. It's very predictable. And if you could just take that off of your back, because it really is like a mark on your back, and let them people blow in the wind, you can still vote for them if you chose to based on their policies, but at least let them people realize that enough is enough. Like, enough is enough is enough is enough. I've tried to get the flyer guy in here. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but I heard you read the story, and I think I saw the story about a week ago when it first came out, but I am so encouraged by the movement of this flyer and by Black grassroots people sharing it and catching on to the energy and just like making it into a thing. Because right now we got like a year and a half just about before this election. So we could really, really have this thing swelling, so that by the time they get on this campaign, this is already in their face. This is something that they're going to have to deal with. And then if you marry reparations or anything that you really want to marry to it, that's when it becomes very, very powerful. So I want to end on that. I got to get back to work, but I really, really love the energy. Thank you so much.
No problem. No problem. Black, no problem. Let me go ahead and get to and Professor was up here. DJ, you still up here?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Okay, because real quick, I gotta do something real quick. So let me we're gonna go agent, then we're gonna go Mr. Engaging, T Way and Fred. I want you to hold it down for me real quick, and I'll be right back.
Take your time, bro. Right now, Rush. Go ahead, agent. What's going on?
All right, thank you. I just wanted to first say that I'm hearing all of the feedback is very insightful. And at the end of the day, I have more of a Lobo getting that. Yeah, Ron is saying, when we vote, all know who's going to be the two nominee winners. It's going to be Trump and Biden. I couldn't give a damn what the VPs are, because at the end of the day, that's window dressing. And at the end of the day, when it's going to be just Biden, my concern is with that it's going to be a repeat of the 2020 election, whereas on the day of the election, it paused progress, and a week later, all the states that, I don't know who was talking before, but all those states that Biden flipped was at first going to go for Trump, but after the week passed, all those states flipped. So I'm just a guy that wants to get to the elephant in the room that has been got together, not to shade nobody, but I was just saying, what about, we can talk about voting and all of that, but at the end of it, my opinion is that the 2022 election wasn't valid. That's just my opinion. No one can change that. I don't care. I don't know how to do that. But my problem is, what if that again happens in 2024? And even if we don't vote for Democrat in large numbers like we always do, but will that even make a difference? Because the fact that ballot harvesting was an issue in 2020, and also dead people voting in 2020 was also a problem, and also the women in one of the voting booths in one of the counties that the voters have got arrested because she counted ballots more than ones that were already counted. So again, I just want to get the point. Now we don't vote for these people. Let's stop these people again from just taking the election again and just giving it to the Democrats. Because again, it's my know that 2020 election is rigged. And what's to stop you making it again?
Hey, Black Majority, you want to answer that real quick?
Oh man, it's a really good question, really tough question. Sometimes, from what I've been told from some people who have deep Washington connections, that sometimes the president is really decided in a back room somewhere. They make deals, and they figure it out, and then it just happens the way they want it to happen. I think we're in a time, Lou. I think it's Garfield. It's either Garfield or Cleveland that won, lost, and won again. I really think that's the type of time that we're in, and so I'll actually kind of be surprised if Trump doesn't win this time around. I think he's going to have people on the ground, and we saw January 6th. I think they're going to have people at all of those booths, all of those polls, and they're really going to be somewhat intimidating. That's the way the Democrats are going to try to play it. But I think they're going to really try to make sure that the people who vote get the vote the way that they want to vote, and it can't be switched. Again, some of these states, it was like 10,000 votes. So when you have a number that's that small, it's a little bit easier to move votes around like that. I just hope that it's a secure election.
Okay, I'm back, y'all. So I'm not exactly sure what the order is, DJ, but what's the order?
No, just go ahead, Commander, if you want to talk. But I don't know if Agent want to, piggyback off that, or if it's okay. Just go ahead, Commander.
Let because I think it was Agent, and then we'll go Mr. Engaging.
Yeah. No, him and Black Maturity was having a back and forth.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, Mr. Engaging. Go ahead, Mr. Engaging.
Will the Black American boycott succeed? Man, I hope so. I think Biden is the worst thing that we. I think it lowered our. It lowered our social and our political awareness, or it lowered our standard. That's the word. It lowered our standard for voting this guy. Like, we'll take any type of person. So I think that if we can kick the habit and boycott Biden, I'm cool with that. I ain't got no pushback out of that. But I wouldn't. I do want to comment off of EMI. I really do think that I could see that happening. Getting rid of Kamala Harris, like they sent her to the border, it was unsuccessful. They sent her to Africa, it was unsuccessful. She has a bad track record with the Black community. That was the reason why she was there. So like she's getting all F's across the border. You know what I mean? Like if I was a president, I'll blame her too. Shit, hell, she fits where? Right outside the White House. So I really do hear my. I do agree what he's talking about. Now I'll go one step further. I even posted in the comment section. White supremacy always breaks their tools. So you know what? Kamala Harris, she's all used up now. Get up out of the paint. put a white boy in. You know how they do. You know how politicians do. So it ain't nothing new to us. So to say that it won't happen, I'm calling X. I'm calling X cap, man. That's major cap. They've done that with other. It just hasn't been on a presidential level, but it has been done on a local level. I've seen done on the what they call it, the local circuit all the time. Like your councilmen and your all those other your other little people. So it happens all the time. So I don't see what the big deal is when somebody was pushing back on that. I think it's something that should be worth exploring. What else? Will the Biden's boycott succeed? I don't know, man. I hope not. I do like some of the strategies that were being talked about, like trying to get my grandmother on code. I think talking about that Medicare and all that other stuff, talking about that illegals from that perspective, I think that's gonna give that eye opening to the elders. They thinking that they're gonna ride off to the sunset, and get wherever they can get. And that's not the case if you keep making bad decisions. Every time you vote, you're casting a bad decision. So, like they say, straighten up and fly right.
Appreciate that, Mr. Engage, and appreciate that, guys. Up in the Jumbotron on the left-hand side. I'm sorry. Is that on the left-hand side? What is that? Okay, yeah. On the left-hand side. Actually, the second on the left-hand side, we have the YouTube channel up there. For those that have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. For those that have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel while the space is on. We were able to get a few people last night to go ahead and subscribe, so we can see. For those that have already subscribed, just go ahead and tweet the YouTube channel out. Just go ahead and tweet the YouTube channel out. Also, for those that can support us on Cash App, we also have that available. For those that want to donate, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America, and the best news media curation platform in America today. You can donate as much as $1 if that's what you have, guys. We would greatly appreciate it and put it to use. Once again, that is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. For those that do not have an actual Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron as well too. Let me go ahead and get to let me go ahead and get the UT Wade, and I'm gonna get to Fred, and I'm gonna get the Fat Woman, Scoop, and I'm gonna get to Trans. I see you up here as well too. So you got it, T Wade.
All right, hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There we go. I'm not trying to come off as a Trump activist or a Trump cheerleader and all. I don't get why everybody's so soft stepping from both men. He's the only politician that has actually offered something that tangibly says something out of his mouth, even though it was poultry, even though it was little less than it should have been. The last time as a community we got offered something, I don't think ever. Like it's just a simple choice, and they both racist. They all racist. Okay, it's just I know one of my uncles calling Trump. I know it might be anecdotal, whatever. Trump really brought out the rabid racist fan base. Yeah, he did. They was proud. They were loud and proud with their rebel flags. Okay, so what? I like mine straight. Biden's track record is far worse, as everybody in this room knows. It's far worse. He's done far worse things to us as a people, as a community, out of his own mouth. And he's senile. So, and people know that. People see that he's senile. So I don't get why people are so soft-spoken. We need to bunk, in my opinion, we need to bunk the plan of withhold the vote. No, that's not going far enough. They are taking advantage of our vote, which we all know, and they actively harm us. They're dropping off illegals across the country like it's Tic Tacs, like they're just playing, like they're fucking playing cards that shuffle the deck. Like, come on. I don't get why we're so soft-spoken about it. And then I know my college educated father and my sisters, the Democrats, even they see it. They say this economy is not that great. No, it's not that great. All these major companies are laying people off. What the American people do not put up with is a soft economy. That's what we do not put up with, a soft economy. And if you have a soft economy, you have a handle on a soft economy, more times often than not, that blame is at the president. So that's why his poll numbers are so soft. Because all these major companies are laying off people. Housing market is not growing as fast as it was. Houses are staying on the market longer. Even before Twitter guy said real estate is coming down. It's been happening. Telltale signs, tea leaves are already happening. This economy is a whole lot softer. Goods from China is not coming across that border. Shit is not shipping. Money is not as big businesses are having to repackage things in smaller packages because Americans are not spending habits are changing. This economy is a lot softer than it was. So it's not adding up for Biden to hit an easy home run. And so my opinion, I don't sound like a cheerleader, but Trump that's it. Just as a protest vote. You want to protest, put it to some real fucking work, and go at their ass. And I definitely like the ideas that they said when I held a family about Social Security and medicine. These coons, our elders, our family, our loved ones, they got to see it. I know my mother saw it, or my mother-in-law saw it. In fact, my mother-in-law, she voted for Trump. Surprised the hell out of me. So some of them are waking up, and I all lost. But that's very good. That's a very good strategy. I'll go ahead and land it there before I keep on going.
All right, appreciate that, T-Way. Up in the Jumbotron, guys, tomorrow we have Dana. She has a space going on, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. She has a space going on at 1 p.m., so I put that up in the Jumbotron. Y'all can go ahead and set your reminders and go ahead and support her in her space as well, too. So she has a space going on tomorrow at 1 p.m., guys. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if we're going to be holding the space. My father's going to be in town, so I'm leaning towards doing the space tomorrow, but I'll go ahead and tweet you guys out if anything changes, whatever. But my dad will be in town tomorrow, so I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be holding the space tomorrow night. But if so, if I don't, I'll go ahead and let you guys know beforehand as well, too. So let me go ahead and get to
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know who said that real quick, but who was that? You, Aunt Lara?
My bad.
Okay. I just saw your hand go up. I didn't even see your hand up there, but we'll get to your lie. Just put your hand up. I get to you. Let me go and get to Fred. Fred, you're next. Go ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. I say more than just Black Americans that are more than just Biden boycott Democrats and Republicans. Democrats, we already know they need our votes, but you got to keep your eyes out for what they're going to try to do slick with this voting rights thing, because they may try to make it to where a lot of these illegals can start voting, and the Republicans aren't going to like that. So the Republicans will be capable for our votes also. Right now, the black vote is, if we move as a unit, the black vote is the most valuable vote in the country. So I'll say, until either side offers something specifically for us, withhold your vote. Now I'm mute.
All right. Thank you, Fred. Thank you. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Fat Woman Scoop. Fat Woman Scoop. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So the gentleman that spoke, not the last one, the one before, that kind of highlights what I was going to say, that no, I don't think a Biden boycott will work, because I think we are not politically savvy enough. We fall into the same trap that pretty much all Americans do and think that there's only two choices, Republican or Democrat. We as black people refuse to do what we should have done 50, 100, 150 years ago and start a black party. One of the problems with trying to shepherd us to Democrats and Republicans, black people are too diverse for us to all fall under either of those umbrellas. We need a black party, one that is focused on black issues. You notice every other marginalized group in this country with any sort of numbers in power, when it comes to political shit, they like, no, you give us what we are asking for, or we're not going to vote for you, period. We refuse to do that with Democrats. We sitting here, we voted in a man who went on the radio show of 3 black people and screamed in their faces, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And other black people tried to shame black people for being like, no, I'm not fucking with that. If we were ready to do what it takes to get what we need politically, we wouldn't have shamed Ice Cube the way he did. Ice Cube asked the question that literally, like, what do you think Jews do when they're discussing how they want to get something done politically amongst themselves? They move as a unit. You will never see them publicly sniping with each other over one of them being like, yo, we're going to go Jews first. But a black man stood up and said, yo, we should go black first, and he got shouted down for it. Frankly, I think we are just too far gone, too compromised by white supremacy to have the wherewithal to do what it takes. I think it's going to take the baby boomer generation ultimately dying out in order for anything to significantly change, because it's been made clear that Democrats don't really have to do anything to get our votes. They don't give us any tangibles. I tweeted it a couple weeks ago. They will pander, especially the black ones. Democrats will pander to literally everyone but us. And we keep going back to it. We shouldn't even be having a debate about whether we're going to vote Democrat or Republican, because both should be completely a non-starter for us. This should be a black party, period.
Now, Fat Woman Scoop. Now, from my understanding, haven't we had black parties already in the country as well, too?
We have, but we as black people, for whatever reasons, have not been willing to support those to the degree that they need to be supported. And I think that speaks to how badly we've been compromised by white supremacy and slavery and all that. We've been fractured as a people, and we've never figured out how to really put ourselves together. I wouldn't even say back together, because we've never actually been, we've never had no freedom over here. We've never been able to move as a group or whole. So it's not even about putting us back together. We've never even figured out how to be quote unquote together while we over here.
Yeah, for the record, we never had any actual political parties. We only had organizations and NAACP. Black Panther Party, Urban League, ACLU, or whatever they call it, these places. It's not a party, though.
Exactly, like we haven't
led by us either.
Where are the presidential candidates or even gubernatorial candidates, mayoral candidates? You know what I'm saying? Like there's never been a black party to put up actual candidates for us to vote for.
All right. And I've said this before. I'm a firm believer, and I know everybody's saying get your own party and stuff like that, but I'm a firm believer that we can go ahead and start using the actual voting as independents, and I think that would serve us just as well too as starting our own. Because when we look at all the other groups in this country, the Asians, the Latinos, and whoever, how many of them really have their own political party? And not only that, but can their political party stand up to the Republicans and the Democrats as well too? So I think that we, as independents, we can go ahead and form our own, get our own candidates, vet them, and everything else as independents and run as independents without, actually trying to go ahead and start our own, political party. But that's just my opinion personally. Go ahead, Fat Woman Scoop. I'll let you go ahead and say something else real quick.
I was just going to say the problem with that is when you run independent, because of how elections work here, it's all about how much money you can put up. 90% of elections are won by whatever candidate spends the most. And when you run independent, it's much harder to get that organizational backing behind you and be able to raise enough dollars. And the reason why other groups don't necessarily need to form a whole ass party because they're more unified than us. It's that simple.
Well, now in terms of just voting as a block, I'm not sure any of those groups, whether we're talking about the Hispanics, Latinos, because they actually split their votes up. We're the only group really in this country that vote as a block, and we've been voting as a block for damn near 60 years for one party.
We vote as a block, but we don't move as a block, is my point. The public fights and stuff we have amongst ourselves, you're not seeing that in other groups. You're not seeing but you're right. Like a third of Latinos voted for Trump, but you're not going to see them publicly fighting over that. I work with Latinos. I've witnessed them having arguments over that election. They argue for 5 minutes and then they move on and talk about something else. They're not going to stop talking to family members all like that over it. There's not the expectation that if you don't vote for whatever party that you're somehow betraying your Hispanicness. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black people try to act like you somehow less black if you're not willing to stand for Democrats, and that's insane to me. Both like somebody said, both parties are racist. There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no good party for us. That's what's always confusing to me when black people are like, well, Democrats are the lesser of two. They both evil. So what are we doing?
I'd like to throw something in right there myself. Also, we're the only group that don't have any organization or any party doing anything specifically for our benefit for Black America.
All right. Let me go ahead and get to Trans real quick. Trans, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello? Okay. Hi guys. I wanted to say, Mr. McCullough, thank you for letting me talk in your space, sir. And I feel that, people were talking about some situation with social security of the elders and everything. And consistently, at least my observations, is that there's actually Republicans who often like to do all these social security cuts and food stamp cuts and all those other things. And yeah, so I just feel like I don't think that Republicans would be good for, especially if you are an elderly or disabled person. And I just want to say that. And as far as the Democrats and everything, I feel that if you look at statistics of the what you call it, elections, Democrats have a growing base, especially with younger voters. So it's across racial lines, because it's Republicans are not doing much for us. So I'm just and especially since a lot of us tend to be more liberal and also members of the LGBTQIA plus community, Republicans are less likely to get our votes or something and or our support and all that stuff. So, if you look at statistics and so I don't think Democrats are going to lose that base. That's just my observation. So, and Republicans seem kind of racist at times. So, and I don't know what's funny, this T person, but I just want to say that, and thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and go to Aunt Lai. Aunt Lai, go ahead and unmute your mic, Aunt Lai. You there, Aunt Lai?
Peace and power, reparations to the room. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm really working on my case right now, but I do want to say, whoever was the person who just said whatever he said about, I forgot what he was saying, but he was saying some good stuff. He was saying, I don't remember what he said, but he said something about how we shouldn't. No, I'm working on my case for it. He said something about, okay, fuck the Democrats. We gotta say fuck both of them. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. Forget both of them. We can't, when we say, oh, it's boycotting the Biden is gonna succeed. When you say, you know what, this person is the enemy, then you get those retarded Republicans for them to say, yeah, they're the enemy and get on the back. The Republicans don't give about us either. We have to start our own party, and I really feel like we should shut the up forever if we ain't gonna start our own parties. Forget all that. The Democrats is this and the Republic. They don't. Both of us is sensible, and both of us know that. Everybody in this room, I'm pretty sure, a lot of black people, even though they only vote Democrat, they know daggone well that they know they sleeping with the enemy is the lesser of two evils. So unless they getting ready, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm a freedman. Unless they getting ready to vote, and I'll be the only fool in there voting freedman, that I'm cool with that. But unless we decide, like he said about the Ice Cube, I love Ice Cube. That's one of my baby daddies. Unless we decide that we're going to get together and start our own party, all these conversations is pointless. And they do this on purpose because they know that when we say, oh, we got to boycott Biden, we got to boycott, Trump ain't no better. Trump is sleeping with the enemy with AIDS. Like, he ain't no better than Biden. Both of them two are doing to the, Republicans, are doing to black people. One of them doing it out in the open, one of them doing it undercover. But they both doing it to us. We got to start our own party. If you a fool, if you in any political party thinking that you're going to vote for any one of these fools, these racist white men, if you think that you're going to get whatever he's talking about, some of the birthright citizens, and he talking a good game. When he had his 4 years in office, he didn't do a dang thing. I don't want to hear nothing about what he said. Because you are a rapist. You're
in the matrix, lie. You're in the matrix, yo.
Yeah, you start doing that robot sound.
Slow down, bro. Slow down. Be the turtle, not the
Yeah. Aunt Lai, your phone is losing. It's all staticky. You're in the matrix. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Yeah.
See, that's my blood pressure. I get talking about the devil. You see the devil did to my phone? That's the damn Republican.
I think, hey, Aunt Lai. Yeah, go ahead and drop down because you keep coming in and out. Drop down and come back up.
That's because of the Republicans and the Democrats.
I know.
I was about to say you was cooking too hard. That's all that happened.
Yeah, you kind of. Let me go ahead and get to.
Obama not upgrading that phone, bro.
Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Black Pressure, what's up? Go ahead and unmute your mic. What's going on tonight, Pressure?
Hey, what's up, Black family?
What's up?
News DJ. I want to say Ray wife put the Clintons on, so he don't hold smoke.
Ray just be chilling. And I don't know what happened to Professor. I don't know what happened to Professor tonight either. So Professor was up here, but he dipped.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
But go ahead, Black Pressure.
So look, I'm always late to the party, so don't laugh at me, but it is relevant. So I got a couple of white people that follow me on my Twitter account, right? So one of them hit me in the DM, and they were like, "Do you see this?" And I was like, "No, it was some little article," and I read about it, and it was white America banded together, and they canceled Budweiser. Like I said, I'm late to the party. Don't laugh at me. I just literally found out maybe 16 hours ago. So I'm reading about it, and it was this. I guess Budweiser had did a commercial with some tranny ass white boy on there, and white America didn't like that. So white from across the United States came together, and they said, "You know what? We not buying this shit no more." So I'm looking at they got pictures of the stores, the shelves and stores across the U.S., and they're looking at their stocks. And literally, white people came together and are about to make these people shut the doors. And I'm like, wow, man. I was like, and whatever white people don't like is what they like. I don't care. I'm not in that community. But just to see what they can do when they keep their money in their pockets, right? So I was just amazed at what, like I say, white people in America coming together and say, hey, man, we're going to keep our money in our pockets and we're going to show them. And they, I think Budweiser pulled the ads and all that different type of stuff. So that's something we could actually learn. I definitely, I think we probably could maybe have a space about that one day. The news, I'm sure you're aware of, because like I say, I'm always late to the party. But
yeah,
like I say, I just found out, so don't laugh at me. But I thought that was amazing that white America could come together and do that too. Literally, this company is I would say iconic American brand. So that just was amazing to me. But I'm gonna move on real quick. I never keep it long. I know I've been listening, and a lot of people come up, and I've been hearing it forever. Black people, the reason we don't get anything because we don't have our own party, and we don't get together under centralized ideologies and all that. But I know when you see election time run around, and when you see, Democrats, Republicans, and I know y'all see the numbers when like the Green Party or Independent Party runs against Democrats and Republicans, those numbers are a joke. You can start your own party all you want. You're never going to win. Those numbers are laughable when the two major parties, when those independent parties and those Green parties run, I might as well run for president. Those parties are never going to win. But I'll quote Jason Black. Like, when it's time for black people to get things, we get beat over the head with politics. So we all gotta get in line and vote for this person. It gotta be federal, it gotta be state, it gotta be local. All politics is local. But like he said, did Hispanics have to get together and vote to get DACA? Asian people didn't have to get together and vote to get a Asian hate crime bill. The red Native American didn't have to get together to get casinos and tax exempt status. But when it comes to black people, when we want to get something, we get beat over the head with politics. So I just want to drop that, and I'll mute up and listen.
Appreciate that, Pressure. Let me hold on real quick. Everybody, don't come off your microphone. Let's keep the order of the room, everybody. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to my man Trenton Makes as well too for his contribution on Cash App. Everybody, let's stay on your mic, and we're gonna get to you. We're gonna go in the order that everybody's hand is up as well too. So I see the order, and we're gonna get to you. Let me go ahead and get the T-Way again. T-Way, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond. First of all, the lady with the accent sound like a little bit. I don't know. But it sound like a little bit. And the last lady after her that lost the connection, she made a good point. Trump had me hot. His campaign trail, he was fire. Everything he was promising was like Christmas. Then when he got in office, he surrounded himself by the same old lifelong political Republicans, and he fucked up. And it's probably what he's doing now with his E-Verify. We should have been at E-Verify nationwide. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very good point. But once again, I want to push back on everybody. Trump, like the article said, is not the typical regular Republican. If he was, they would all be behind him. They were reluctantly behind him because he wasn't supposed to be president.
But he was. And then he got in office, made himself rich, and he surrounded himself with lifelong Republicans. But he's not the typical Republican. So historically, everybody's saying about not voting for a Republican is 100% correct. But he's not the typical Republican. He might actually hear us out if we get enough people talking to him. Like
Anything's worse than regular Republicans.
They all worse.
Hey, stay on your mic, everybody. Go ahead.
He did get HBCUs money. Okay, he did give that first step back. He did small things. Well, last time anybody else did something. Come on, okay? He's receptive to other celebrities. Other Republicans are not. So let's say these same old tired ass tactics for the same tired ass Republicans, not for this different Republican. And Biden and the Democrats do far worse things. They're flooding us with fucking immigrants. They're turning our children out. Come on, they're cutting people private parts off, mutilating kids. They're far more dangerous. Okay, Trump is not the typical goddamn Republican. So saying those tactics for the typical historical Republican. And the fat woman Scoop was saying about I thought the baby boomers would die off. That would give us our chance. But the sad thing is, we got a lot of coons out here. They infected a lot of kids out here. So the baby boomers have made a lot more Democrats to refill the ranks. It's kind of sad and scary. So we can't depend on baby boomers dying off because we got a whole lot of young Democrats out here that is lost in the woods, ain't down, black media. I don't know. We're uphill battle with this shit. So we can't depend on baby boomers dying off because they made a lot of goddamn kids. They all fucking while them lost. And I think we can do way more good with our vote by getting Trump in office, just in spite of Biden and the Democrats. And I'll land it there.
All right. Real quick, guys, let's go ahead. And like I say, up in the Jumbotron, we got the YouTube channel up in there. That's the one right in the middle. We have the YouTube channel up in there. So anybody that has not subscribed to the YouTube channel while the space is going on, just click up in the Jumbotron in the middle. It'll take you right to the link to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe. We hadn't got anybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel tonight, so we definitely need to go ahead and get those subscriptions. And for anybody that wants to donate to us for the space, and not only for the space, but for having the largest and the best news media curation platform today in America, that is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Once again, $Newstoter. And tomorrow night, guys, I just went ahead and say, yeah, we are gonna be off tomorrow night. So tomorrow night we will not be holding the space. So this will be the space for the probably for the end of the week, more than likely, possibly a space Sunday, but this will probably be the space for the end of the week. Let me go ahead and get to Dana. Dana, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. My phone was about to go dead, so if I drop down, I'm just going to come back under my other account. But just briefly, yeah, I think it's a good conversation tonight, as always, Newstoter. But a couple of people was like, we need our own party, we need our own party. No other group has their own party because you don't need your own party. First of all, we don't have enough money, even collective, being 12.5% of the population. You got to understand people, when you talk about the DNC, RNC, they fund these politicians. They have a very deep war chest because of the lobbyists. And the lobbyists represent these big corporations, whether it's chemical, pharmaceutical. But on an individual level, us regular folk, when we look at the Asians, nobody didn't give the Asians anything because they wanted to be nice to them. The Asians, whether it's a Republican in office or a Democrat, Asians are not loyal or committed to any particular group. Hispanics are not loyal and committed to any particular, political group. We're the only ones that are committed to the Democratic Party. So it's not about us having our own party. Let's stop being committed to the Democratic Party. Whoever is elected in the presidency, and I vote presidency as far as what can he do to make our country stronger globally, but it's more important for us to recognize in our state, locally, that affects us first. And I think we need to drill that in our heads because we're so focused on Trump and Biden. So, and a lot of times, Black people live in a heavy DNC district because of how they gerrymander, and create these Republicans and Democratic districts. So what we could do on a local level, because locally we vote for people to go to Congress, we could come together and organize like other groups do, such as the Asians, but you need funding for that. You cannot compete with a pharmaceutical company, no. But at the same time, those politicians still need your vote. We don't go to our politicians statewide with an agenda. And I think what we're doing, we're talking and we're not taking accountability. I'm talking about collective as a whole. Black people, Black America is not taking accountability for the shortcomings that we have when it comes to the science of politics. So they tried to have their own party, I think it was Fannie Lou Hamer, but they were still somewhat connected with the Democrat Party, the DNC, when they had the convention down in Atlantic City in the late 1960s. And they were kind of like pushed out. So, it is a fixed game, but at the same time, if we want laws or legislation specifically for us, we have to organize and come together and demand that and come with an agenda. So, it's not about we need to start our own party. We don't have the money. We don't have the power. You have to start where you're at. That AAPI history course that was passed in Florida, I think it was this month in May, that started from a 501c organization that is nationwide. So they have chapters in different states that are pushing to pass that in every state. So you have to start on a local level, and then it pushes up to the federal. And I don't think we're not grasping that. So it's not about having a Black party. And I wouldn't want to be a part of a Black political party because we don't even know how to work together. So that's all I'm going to say. And my phone probably ended up going dead anyway.
All right. Thank you, Dana. Like I said, I put Dana's space up in the actual Jumbotron as well. She's having a space at 1 o'clock. That's the second on the left-hand side, guys. So if you get a chance, 1 o'clock tomorrow, definitely go ahead and check out Dana's space. So definitely check her space out tomorrow. Let me go to Original. Original, how you doing? You there, Original?
Yeah, I had to bring my phone back up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I would say that if we just had enough Black people, whereby we was pushing this, basically, 24/7 to boycott voting this time. We can use Jim Crow Joe words against him. Remember when he said, I think it was since the 1980s or 90s, that there has not been a crime bill that came through Congress that did not have his name on it. And then look at all the other racist things that he said and done to us. And so I think partly what it is, you got these old agents like Ray Winbush, Al Sharpton, and others that they keep pushing that Black folks need to vote for the Democrats. No, because see, at the beginning and ending of each day, I control my vote. And remember what I shared a little while ago about when Eric Cantor, former Congressman Eric Cantor, he was beaten by a teabagger that only raised $300,000. And Eric Cantor had like millions of dollars in his war chest to run, and he lost. Because see, what they're realizing now, they're using spookism to try to scare us to continue to vote for these two parties. And it's like, no, what are they going to do? What are they willing to discuss? I'm not willing to discuss reparations, to deliver on reparations. Forget the discussion. Discussion time is like, you can say discussion time has passed. It's time to do a full assault. Because if you look at it, if enough of us just held our vote, more than likely the Democrats will lose. Because, and we already know it is not going to be all of us. There's still going to be quite a number of people that's going to vote for these dumbass Democrats.
because so many people have been brainwashed to believe this crap. It's like a damn religion with these folks. You know, you look at, I give you an example. You look at what's going on in Africa. You know, they got the biggest white Jesus statue than anywhere else in the world because their minds have been colonized. Well, luckily for us, there are some of us whose minds have broke away from that colonization, and they're wondering if how are we going to infuse that with the others. Let's say if we have people more than likely who could put together. Everybody got cell phones or whatever. Who could put together some little small commercial. And let's say if we can get people to come together who have social media spaces, and at a certain interval, maybe within the 30-minute time frame, each 30-minute time frame or whatever within that social media gathering, they're playing these commercials citing what the Democrats as well as Republicans have not and don't want to do for black folks. But let's just sit this one out and see what happens. Let's just sit it out. But I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not voting for either one of them. Because see, people keep saying voting for the lesser or two evil. As I tell people, evil is like poison. Whether it's less or more, it'll still kill your butt. So let's just be real about that. I think people are just not willing. I think some people are just afraid to take that chance. I'm not, because I'm proud to say I did not vote in 2020. I'm proud to say I didn't vote for Jim Crow Joe or Trump. Because let's look at it when Trump put that platinum plan out there. It had the word minority in it 3 times. So that plan wasn't for black folks. It was for everybody except black folks, like they always do. And so neither one of them will receive my vote. As I said before, when they start sending these text messages out, if they send one to this phone number, I'm going to cuss their butts out. And when I cuss them out, you can use your imagination. It's gonna be done from a religious perspective. I am going to totally disrespect them from a religious perspective, telling them what they can go do with what they believe in. Because I'm not playing. And so until people understand that we will just sit down and not do anything, they're not going to do anything for black folks. Because you got to, as I read the information over several of your spaces, the current mayor of Atlanta ran on a gay platform and won. Because part of the problem is a lot of people don't read these platforms. They just go with, I vote Democrat. They go with what is the vote blue no matter who, dummies. And so, okay, fine, that's what they're gonna do. But you will do it without this vote, because I'm not playing around with you. And so if you hear something go down here in Georgia where somebody wrote a very low down, nasty, telling them what they can go do with their religious figures and what they believe in, more than likely it came from me, because I've had some other people who are supposed to join me in this, but y'all know how it is. There's only one that will stand up and do it, and the other one chicken out and say, I didn't get no email. Well, whatever. But I'm in a text message, whatever. Well, I'm sending mine. And even if I check my email and I see where they're sending a political, I'm gonna cuss them out again there too. I'm gonna let them know you have nothing, and that's all we need is just, if we can pull, I say from 3 to 5% of black folks, and just say we are not going to vote. Screw you. If you have nothing but us. The Democrats would lose, and that's all we need. And see, if we just organize this, we can organize this through social media. Just let's say
if there could be a gathering, you know, whether it be on the phone or in a social media space or whatever, of a number of social media platforms, people who have social media platforms, that they can come together and decide, yeah, let's do this, and we're going to use this as our political voice or commercial or whatever, that we're going to create, maybe like I say like, you know, maybe three to five little commercials, and they're being played on these social media platforms, whether it be within the 30-minute, you know, time frame, or the one that, depending on how long the platform will go, or at least every hour, showing, you know, encouraging people to just not go out there and give your vote away for nothing. This can be done because, like as I told you before, and I hate to keep using this example, when KABC Los Angeles decided that Larry Elders could speak on the air for like 3 to 4 hours a day bashing black folks, and when the black community came together, and I tell you, it wasn't a whole lot of people as well. That station lost over $100 million in advertising revenue because we took their national sponsors from them, and Disney had to subsidize them. So we have to, all we got to do is organize ourselves in a manner and make this thing work. And it can work. But all we got to do is put our heads together and making sure that we're all on one accord. You know, this can be done. Because the majority of us that are listening in this space, we're ready to rock and roll and do what has to be done to make it work. And so all we got to do is just pull an additional 3 to 5%, you know, from the stupid black folks. You know, try to wake as many of them up as possible, and it can happen. So that's all I want to say is that, you know, there are things that we now, you know, and make this work, but I think it's going to have to be done in a more organized way and using the tool like social media, because look, where are most of the young people? They're on social media. So we're targeting it with certain little commercials or whatever, going into different spaces or whatever. This can work. That's all we got to do is use the same tactics that our enemy use, whether they be Democrat or Republican. And we can make this thing work because once they see that the swell of black people is growing, that alone will not only scare the hell out of the Democrat, it will scare the hell out of the Republicans too. And I'll land with that.
All right. Thank you, Original. Let me go ahead. I see we got a new speaker up. I'm gonna get to you, Fred and Fat Woman. Let me go ahead and get to Mimi. Mimi, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, yeah. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm good. Smooth skin I am. I call it smooth skins. I don't, the N word, you know, it can be some confusion because I'm a female. I was trying to give some hope. Let me tell y'all something. I'm a troll, right? And I've been up here ever since 2003. I got very heavy with my Twitter feed and opinion, and got very heavy during Trump. I'm not gonna blame it on him, but I'm like, okay, cool, because we had TikTok, Instagram, or what have you, and I'm like, well, dang, you know, I want to go ahead and talk because I don't want to do Instagram because I don't feel like putting up pictures, but I have a voice. You know, I'm not good with pictures or whatever. I'm a little shy a little bit, but I have a voice. You hear me? So I just want to talk about my lineage. You know, being a smooth skin, being black, whatever. I was trying to put it up there.
Real quick, Mimi, are you going to talk about the actual topic we're talking about?
Well, I can. I'm going to do that. If you give just a little bit. A little smidge.
Well,
Give everybody else time.
let's,
I just heard this grown man speaking. Right?
Yeah, he was talking about the topic though. So as long as you talk,
I'm talking about it too.
well, let's go ahead and start talking about it.
Now, see how y'all do. I'm a female, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm good. Wouldn't it become a time of not understanding what he just said to understand and not understand? Or do you understand that it's always been something with smoke scans? Smoke scans to me is normal.
Mimi.
Wait, I'm trying to.
Yeah, hold on one second. Nobody say anything. I'll handle this. The host, co-host, y'all, everybody chill. The speakers, nobody come off your mic. Mimi, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little, maybe about a minute to go ahead and get into it.
Okay. In the meantime, in North America, smooth scans. We already built this country. What are you confused at? Man, I was trying to be nice. And even you, host, thank you for letting me speak in your space. Okay? I'm a military brat. So I'm being patient with y'all.
Mimi, are you? Mimi, are you?
I can brag about being a.
Are you high, Mimi? Are you high? Are you high off of
Cannabis high.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, this is what I'm gonna. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do, Mimi. I'm gonna go. Hold on, DJ. I'm gonna go and let you enjoy your high. Yeah, I mean.
You sit up here and want reparations. Don't you want reparations? I'm gonna tell you how you're not gonna get it or apply for it.
Goodbye.
All you gotta do is go up there to the courthouse and just go give all your information. You have a social security number, don't you?
Don't we all?
News, please.
Listen, all you gotta do is do two things.
What's that, Mimi?
Go to the courthouse and go to your family reunion, and that's where you can find out who has what and where is what. And mind you, 2 mules and 4 acres. How big is a football field?
Okay.
Shout out to the football season coming up.
All right. Well,
how big is a football field?
Go Giants.
All right, Mimi. We played around with you for enough for the night. So thank you. I appreciate you, Mimi, and adios. Make sure we don't bring. Yeah, she on some potent stuff there. So let's go ahead and go to Fred, and then we're gonna go to Fat Woman Scoop. Go ahead, Fred.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Damn, that was frustrating. Did you catch contact, Fred? You call contact off the fentanyl? Call 911, my nigga. Call 911, my nigga. Contact frustration is what I call it. Now, you got Black Americans, remember this. We're the only ones with a legitimate claim from this government. Everybody else is either freeloading or leeching. Everybody else. Now, we have somebody brought up about how these white folks went in there and basically boycotted the degeneracy from this commercial or whatever. But the one thing you got to notice, notice how white folks did not come up on public television or anywhere else condemning other white folks. They live by their moral standard. I'm not saying it's very moral, but even they got a standard. They rank survival above popularity. Now, when it comes to us, there's organizations out there with our names already on it. Case in point, Congressional Black Caucus, NAACP. They already got our names on it. So I heard that this Congressional Black Caucus was doing a tour. Everywhere they go, anybody who's a reparationist, we need to straight up say, look, this is the new agenda for Black America. You guys have done something specifically for every group except Black people. We're the ones that basically put you on the map, and every other group gets their legitimacy. Everybody else you call them marginalized groups get their legitimacy and benefits through us. Now, if they don't start
immediately. See, you don't need to get together a whole bunch of money and all this stuff. We already got the pull. We just got to start holding the people that's got our name on their agendas or on their organizations. Start holding them accountable, and if they don't start doing it, delegitimize them. I mute.
All right, Mimi, I see you requesting to come back up, but I say this respectfully. Go kick rocks, sister. You're not coming back up here. You had your time to troll, like you said, with the smooth skin and all that other nonsense you're talking about. Go whatever Hunter Biden is hitting on. Go ahead and get in a rotation with him, but you're not coming back up in here. So no, Mimi, go troll another space. Let me go ahead and go to Fat Woman Scoop, and then we got you, T-Way.
Hold on 1 second. Me smoking crack. Me smoking crack. Me smoking crack.
Hey, look, I was about to say she can't even blame it on weed because I've been smoking the whole time I've been in this space.
We normal, right? For the most part, that's what I was saying and shit. I'm smoking on this good, you know what I mean? White wine over shit, you know what I'm saying?
So I don't even know how she's gonna try to put that on weed. But no, just two things. One, I get frustrated when people say, "Well, Biden's done more to us than Trump has." That part of that's opportunity. Biden's been in Congress for 50 years now. He's had more chances. But the other part of that is, so how did Trump make his money? He fake started business, screw over the vendors, and then dip out with the money. How many of those vendors that he done screwed over have been black? Like, you think everybody he done screwed over has been but like he got sued by the federal government, I believe it was in the early 80s, either late 70s or early 80s, him and his father, for housing discrimination, specifically against black Americans in his apartment buildings in New York City. So the whole notion that Trump isn't racist or isn't as damaging to us, that's just, he's proven that with his own actions that's not true. The one thing that Trump has that I think has fooled some black people into thinking he's not as evil as others is that for whatever reason, probably just because he's so obsessed with making as much money as possible, he understands that black people aren't going anywhere. Like, I think that's really the difference between Trump and most racist white politicians. Most of them want us legitimately dead or gone. Trump doesn't. Trump, I think, realizes, and I ain't saying this is right, his twisted mind, quote, value in us, and realizes we're not going anywhere. Like, we've been here for this long. It's just not a realistic proposition to want to get rid of us. So he's at least willing to throw us a fake bone. You know what I'm saying? But like the other brother said, when he was talking about his or that platinum plan, whatever, it said minorities. It ain't say black folks. It said minorities. And that's always the key. And that's the other point I wanted to get to. You know, when we compare, you know, folks have made the point, well, Asians didn't have to, you know, unite all like that to get that bill. That's because every other minority group, marginalized group, however you want to term it, gets used against us. And, like, that's the thing that I don't think a lot of black people are either understand or are willing to confront. We are at war. We have been at war since we got brought over here. And nowhere is that more evident than in politics. They're not going to give a shit. They literally not going to give a shit. We're not going to get it by asking. We will ultimately get it by demanding, quote, taking. And that would come by us not voting for them no more. And just making it clear that we not allegiance to the Democratic Party. But we haven't been able to do that. And they know that they keep pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? As far as how disrespectful they can be to black folks, and they still get our votes after everything that happened in 2020. And all the protests, George Floyd, the culmination of Black Lives Matter, everything. The way Democrats hopped on that wave and used it for fundraising, and we've never taken them to task for that, held them accountable for that, nothing. Like, why wouldn't they think they got us in their pockets forever? Why would they feel the need to throw us any tangibles? They don't need to. They haven't needed to up to this point, so why would they start now? That's why I say I don't think there's any way that we can manipulate the Democratic Party into doing what we want them to do. My stance has always been, if you have to ask somebody to do something for you or to stop doing something to you that you both know they would never accept, they're not going to stop doing it until you make them.
All right, appreciate that. Real quick, like I say, up in the jumbotron, guys, we got some people up in here. Fat Man Woman Scoop. I don't know if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, but if you haven't, bro, we can definitely use that subscription. That's in the jumbotron, the third on the right hand side. While the space is going on, you can go ahead and just click that. Go right to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. T-Way, anybody else that hasn't subscribed to the YouTube channel, we're trying to get those numbers up. We need our people. For our people on YouTube, please make sure y'all go ahead and share out the space tonight. Share out the video tonight. Everybody that's in here, share out the space tonight as well too. Mimi, I see you hanging around, so that's fine with us. Fine. If you want to hang around, sister, and you want to troll at requesting, that's fine. Long as you know you're not coming back up here tonight. So that's more than cool with me as well too. Like I say, for those that can support us on Cash App, is greatly appreciated. We're just trying to get dollar donations for those that can afford it, and those that can spare it. We definitely appreciate it. That's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Once again, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned curation news platform today in America. That is $Newstoter, Newstoter. And for those that don't have Cash App, the Venmo and PayPal is up in the jumbotron. Also, like I said, Dana, she has a space going on tomorrow, so guys, go ahead and support that space. That's also up in the jumbotron. That's the fourth on the left-hand side. Go ahead and tweet that space out for her as well too. I'm gonna go to T-Way, and then I'm gonna go to Dana as well too. Go ahead, T-Way.
Yeah, the last speaker, he made some very good points. Very good points. A lot of that stuff I agree with. But like Biden had more opportunity. All right, so let's take Trump and Trump Daddy whole life in New York and their building practices and all the discrimination they did. Biden still did more damage. I think he's the reason why y'all can't get rid of y'all student loan debt. Okay? Even through all the housing scams he did, all the scamming he did in his home, him and his daddy. Biden still him and his daddy, Trump Senior. Biden has still done more damage. Still, all his crime bills, y'all can't get rid of y'all student loan debt, bankruptcy, several things. Okay, like come on, I correct somebody almost did. He's an evil, foul person. You know what I'm saying? That state he's a part of. They do some funny practices with their business practices. He was a senator of that state. A lot of loopholes going on with that. He has a long laundry list of history of just deceit and thievery and devilish ways. Besides what he did to us. And once again, Trump is not the regular Republican. When was the last president that gave us something? I don't agree with y'all make him sound like a goddamn Trump cheerleader, but I don't agree with HBCUs. He funded them. And HBCUs are a great experience for a lot of black kids, a lot of black people. Okay? When was the last time a president gave us anything? Specifically. Was it Bush? Obama? Another Bush? Like, come on. It's been like 20 years. Carter? Like, when last time? So, if we give the right person in Trump's ear to take out that minority, okay, maybe a Q in another meeting, maybe give him some promises to us. He's the only one who will give us any kind of promises. Okay, it's not the bigger two evils. Let's get something for our vote. He's actually gave us lip service. We so used to not being talked to, we don't know what lip service sound like. Like, come on. And then with the First Step Act, well, I know we're not all criminals. I can't stand they want to lump us in, give us things like we all criminals. I'm not a fucking criminal. Okay, I don't need no civic based things along that line. But that First Step Back was real and helped a lot of our people out. We need that. That was another real tangible thing. Let's not forget that, okay? And then if we just get three things, if not reparations, get rid of this flat blackness. Do not lump us in for all the other other black people around this goddamn world. If we give us three right things, it is well worth our damn vote. But we know for a fact Democrats and any other Republican and Biden ain't gonna promise us anything. They ain't gonna give us nothing. But Trump might, and he might hear us out. So y'all keep saying big two evils to trade. He could promise us something, and he might give us something because he already has. Like, come on, I'll land it.
All right, appreciate that, T-Way. Let me go ahead and get to Dana. Dana, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Can you hear me clear?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Honey, I was in Target. I came home, started making banana bread. Now I'm back. Now I'm like, I'm sitting still. So I just want to make sure the reception is good while I'm charging my phone. But yeah, I think like, you know, and of course tonight it's like a compare contrast between Trump and Biden. But Trump, I think we need to keep in mind, and I think we're looking at it different, you know, in the wrong way. Trump is not a politician. He never held political office. Biden is a long-time politician. That's all he knows how to do is govern. When you see people who are in politics for decades, that's all they know how to do. And you have to understand those are, and if we had to do the lesser two evils, well, the ones that sit in Congress or just a long-time politician, those are the greater evils, right? Those are the worst. Black, white, it doesn't matter. It's politics. It has no color. But he's not a politician, and that's what made Trump a threat then and now. That's what makes him different. That's why a lot of people, young and older, appeal to him. He has that it factor when you talk about media because he went to media with The Apprentice, finessed it, became popular. And at the end of the day, no matter how much smart we think we are, Americans, we are consumers and we vote on the purpose of who do we like. And a lot of comments tonight, people were commenting from who they like, meaning, well, he's a racist and he's not. It doesn't matter if somebody's a racist, he's a politician. So, and as far as Trump with his private businesses, those are private businesses where you can do what you want to do, as opposed to a politician creating legislation that affects us. Legislation affects us. Trump not allowing Black people who could live in his buildings because it's only, you're talking about the wealthy Black people because that wasn't for regular folk.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It was not a wealthy building. It was a low income.
Real quick. Don't come off your mic. Let her finish, and then we go ahead. Don't come off your mic, guys. Go ahead.
Thank you so much because you're incorrect because the case that came against him with discrimination was Trump Towers. Either way, he didn't pass legislation that affected Black people or the Black community. There was something, and I'm trying to find it, to where Queensbridge Projects, the largest projects in America, he wanted to buy up that property, that land, and build high-rise because it's sitting right on the East River, perfect view of Midtown. He was going to pay each person there $10,000. This is back in the 80s. But because it's owned by the state, because it's housing, they said, no, you cannot do that. So I was trying to find that, you know, to see was that true. I heard it, somebody was talking about that. But let's just say if it was true. $10,000 in 1985, well, that's a good ass deal. But either way, having been a private business owner and being a politician passing legislation, what affects and harms Black people worse or the most or directly? It's being a politician and legislation. And as for the platinum plan, because somebody said even in a platinum plan, he has minority. No, he does not, sir, because I pulled it up. I've read it before, but I went back to check. He never had the word minority. It's specific for African Americans, the Black community, Black Americans. You do not see the word minority. As opposed to, fast forward, let's go to Biden and Harris, because they're the ones that's in office. The only thing that they have right now in the WhiteHouse.gov, Biden and Harris administration advances equity and opportunity for Black people and communities across the country. They have the word Black communities, African Americans, and people of color, and minorities. See, they include everybody else. He was very specific. So whether you think the platinum plan was too little, too much, it doesn't matter. Because no ADOS, FBA, or Freedmen knocked on that White House door to say, here is our agenda. This is what we want. You left it up to the Black people who chose to be part of Trump's campaign, those reverends, I forgot his name or whatever, you could call them coons. You let them go and be a part of Trump because you didn't want to be a part of Trump. And I'm not saying you directly, anybody here, I'm talking collectively. So if you leave it to people to always be a mouthpiece for you, you can't get mad with the results that you get. So we're going to talk about it. Go and actually read what was written, and let's talk with a little bit of facts and stop just throwing words out there because somebody else you heard on a YouTube or another Twitter space said it and you have respect for them, so you think that is true. A lot of people say things to hype shit up for their benefit, to have you agree with them. But either way, you never ever trust politicians. There are liars. Because, one more example, AOC. How did she get elected into Congress? She was what I would have considered, what I consider when we see Marcel Dixon. That's what AOC was when she was canvassing in Queens and the Bronx, because those are her two districts. She knocked on every single door. She didn't have a lot of funding. She didn't have a deep war chest. And by the way, I'm not saying Marcel is the same as AOC. He's much better than her. But the point that I'm making is she was a newcomer, grassroots, and she won because she went old school. Soon as that bitch got into office, they said, you won't have to be a part of this, or we ain't gonna fund you no more. She's linked up with all types of Jewish organizations internationally and domestically. That Green Deal, that's some BS or whatever. She's wealthy right now. So she did a complete 360. What do they call it? The squad. And we see what she's about. So again, you have to do research and you have to read what is being put out there and stop listening to people because it sounds good. And that is the problem with Black Americans. It sounds good, so we believe them, because we go back to that church preacher type of mentality. And, because we're religious. And a lot of times, a lot of people are just blowing smoke up your ass. But you never, ever trust a politician. Ever. Because they're all liars. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Dana.
Hey, Dana, real quick, just to ask her real quick, what do you think of AOC antics at that recent town hall meeting over the migrants, real quick?
Oh, I was waiting. They should have been throwing food at her ass. Those are the same people.
Get Tan Man to get off stage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because New York don't play that. Now, when she first got elected, I said to somebody that was a prominent person, and because he's part of NARC or whatever, he said, I don't care how she goes, as long as the potholes where I live at are filled. And I get that, because you're talking about local level, right? So, but she's making decisions and voting internationally because she's part of Congress. So she has to vote domestically, locally, and internationally. But because she went she did a 360, she went bonkers. And the people back in the Bronx in New York now with these immigrants, they cussed her ass out. I loved it.
All right. Real quick, let me go ahead and Mimi, I see you came back up here to request again. Like, you don't have anything to do today, do you, except troll people? That's fine. Sit right there and keep requesting. Let me go ahead and get it to I am. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace, power, and reparations. Oh, you gotta love her persistence.
She's a dumbass for certain.
Gotta admit that you got a problem in order to seek help. You need help, girl.
Right. As a New Yorker, I always love when I hear non-New Yorkers talk about Trump. Well, let's put it this way. All white people are inherently racist. All of them. It's their actions that what we have a problem with. Now, let me give you a couple of stories what Mr. Donald Trump has done that I know for a fact. There was a brother whose car broke down on the BQE. And Mr. Trump puts in his limo, and his driver tried to help this brother fix his car. They weren't successful. Trump put this brother in the limo with him, took him back to Trump Tower, got a tow truck for the brother, and got the brother's car fixed. Let's go back to Jennifer Hudson. Remember when her family got slaughtered? Guess who reached out and invited her to stay?
405, let's go.
invited her to stay at his place, Donald Trump. There was a sister who was homeless with her children, and Trump took her in. You got about 20 songs, rap songs that Trump has mentioned in. I remember Trump backed the bail money for ASAP Rocky. How many rappers did he pardon? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I could go on and on. It's so many stories. I was like texting my cousin, like, come on, refresh my memory, because it was so many things that happened.
We got the mellow ball out of China.
As a New Yorker, you know this. You would see Trump on a regular helping or doing something with or for Black people in New York. So, it really bothers me to hear non-New Yorkers talk about how he's racist and he don't do nothing for Black people. I voted for Trump the last election, and I wasn't intending on voting for him again. But I do support what the brother is saying in Chicago, as I support boycotts, period, across the board. So, I don't vote based on myself. I vote for the collective. What's beneficial for all Black Americans in this country. That's how I vote. And now I'm voting not for the party, but for the policy. So shout out to Sister Dana for making that correction with the Platinum Plan, because I was going to say that as well. We got to tell the truth, and we got to put forth the facts so people can make the correct decisions that's beneficial for our collective. So if this is what we doing, boycotting, period, I'm all for it. I'm down. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of the collective. I'm going to tell you something. Trump been announced that he was going to run. DeSantis is now running. Pence is about to announce he's running. That Chris, whatever that guy used to be the governor of New Jersey, that fat ass is running, about to announce he's running. All these people are jumping in here. I don't believe that any of them have a chance. Although Pence may have a chance with the evangelist in Iowa. He's got a good chance. But if Trump puts forth a good plan, reparations plan, he's going to get my vote. But if nobody puts forth a reparations plan, I'm not voting for anybody. Period. I'm not doing it. Because it's not what we want. This is what we need. We really, really need these. And I'm so sick and tired of these politicians just shitting on us. And we sitting back waiting and for another 4 years for somebody else to do something for us. No. Not only are they not doing anything for us, we're not asking them. We're not sitting down at the table with these people and real grassroots, not these celebrities and athletes. And, real grassroots are not sitting down at the table with these people and say, hey, listen, this is what we need, not what we want. This is what we need. So I don't know who's going to do it, or who can do it, but we need to do it and figure it out. And if Trump says, listen, I'm going to send these illegals back home, I'm building the wall, and I'm going to give you a side of reparations, he's going to get our vote. I honestly believe that he will get our vote and he will win. But we got to get to the table with him. Grassroots has to get to the table with him. So who's it going to be? What are we going to do? Let's make it happen. We've been talking on his app. I don't see a lot of talking in these streets. We got to make this happen, family. We out here, excuse my language, Newstoter, we out here fucked up. Let's keep it a buck. We are. And we need stuff. So let's get to work. I'll land there, brother.
All right. No problem. Thank you. I am. Let me go ahead. No taxation. I see you up here, so I want to go ahead and give you a chance. Me. I still. You keep coming to try and request. I'm gonna just keep bothering you. Like I don't know what you on tonight. You must be on something with fentanyl and Molly, and crack and heroin and all of that mixed up. You on a super cocktail tonight, but you bouncing all off the wall like a 4-year-old child hyped up off of candy. So go down there, stay in the request section. Go ahead. You left and then you came back to request again, but hey. You want to be an ass, we'll treat you like an ass tonight. So that's fine with us, sister. Go ahead, no taxation.
I'm fresh out of jail. Send me back around here. I'm fresh out of Twitter jail. Okay. This is my third time. Look, where my party and buddy at? That's what I want to know.
With no taxation, you a trip.
Where my party and where's my buddy? This is my third time in Twitter jail, man. I'm trying to hold on as best I can. Rella told me this is not the time for you to go to jail. I got tickled. I said, I know. I called Charles Kirk White Church. And apparently one of his followers or something. You know, and that's what it does. How everybody doing? Boy, I tell you something. Everything was food for thought. Everything everybody said is food for thought. Here's the real issue, and I am nailed on the head at the very end. Who's gonna do the work? The workers are few. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm looking around. I don't have a problem taking people to Capitol Hill and introducing them. If I know that they're gonna be about business, if I know they're gonna do the right thing, if I know that they know what they're talking about, and if I know they're not looking for anything for self, and they're looking at the collective and the greater good, I don't have a problem with it. And I can introduce them to people. Who's gonna do the work? Because see, every time I do the work, I have to come out of my pocket. Every time I do the work, there's nobody else around me. Every time I do the work, I can't get nobody to help me. So who's gonna do the work? You don't need a political party, just like Dana said. We don't have the money for a political party. That's why we fight for reparations. If you give reparations, get a check. And yeah, you can get to a political party. There's nothing you have to discuss with anybody on Capitol Hill with the exception of economic resources. That's it. You have to approach the vantage point for what it is. The only thing you should be talking to the government about is money. Period. Money for black folks. Not money for your organization. Not grants and loans. Not through the SBA. If you're talking about reparations, the only thing you should be talking about in reparations, and if you're going to go on the Hill, is about money. Period. And how they're going to issue it out. Where's the deal? When is it going to get cut? How long is it going to take? You have to put your nose to the grindstone and do the work. Dana mentioned AOC. The other thing AOC did when she first won was had her district relined. And it used to be majority black. Now it's only 11%. The rest of it is Hispanic. Who you think she gonna serve? She got a seat for life. See, that's how the game is done. You got to understand they all crooks. You're dealing with a crooked system, with people who work for a crooked system, so you have to be a little bit crooked. Mayor Daley said it years ago. You have to expect corruption in the government. If you're not in them white boys' faces, you're not in nobody's face. It's too late to get in Nancy Pelosi's face. She finna go. Chuck Schumer don't really give a shit no more. If you was gonna get in somebody's face right now, you need to get with whoever is getting ready to be on the Hill, getting ready to be on the Hill, which would be, as far as this look right, it could be Trump, but who could be on his ticket? It might be Tim Scott, because that's the only reason Biden won. Biden won because he got Kamala. That's the only reason Biden was able to take that ticket. You see how black folks came out? And what was the payoff for black folks? Well, they gave Clyburn
state to say, well, we're going to let you pick the president, since he picked the last one, which is the one we in now. So, who going to do the work? Who knows the game? Who knows how to talk to these white boys? Because, see, you can't play with them. They're not your friends. They're not even your business associates until you do business with them. Who's going to do the work is what I want to know. Because I've been talking about having a group for many, many years. If you look at that BADOS website, which I don't even know if it's still up there anymore, I did that because I was trying to get us somewhere. Who gonna do the work? And why y'all boycotting Biden? That's well and good. But if you're talking about a national reparations plan, national, not state, national, it don't matter who's sitting in the Oval Office. The only thing that matters is who gonna do the work and can we do it together? I'm talking about not just everybody in this room, but I'm talking about black folks as a collective. Can we do it together? What y'all think? Y'all tell me. Biden, the Biden boycott, will it succeed? Who knows? If I had to gamble, if I had to gamble, and if I had to come up with an answer because my life was on the line, they said you better answer, I say no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I'll tell you why. That Democratic stronghold and stranglehold that they have on the black folks, man, that thing is strong. That thing is strong. If you want to send a signal to the Hill, to Biden, who's in the current administration, if you want to send just a signal to them, everybody in this room go get 10 more people and tell them 10 to go get 10 and so forth and so on, and say, please go back and change your party to independent. And then let's discuss who we're going to vote for after the money is spent on whoever gets to the top. The white folks going to do that. We ain't got enough money to compete for that. It's a money game. That's why I said you can't talk to them about anything but money. Period. That's it and that's all. And if you're not doing that, then you're not doing anything. And if you're not going to do the work, you're just talking. You have to do the work. AOC got on the ground, just like Dana said, and went knocking on folks' doors, like Marcel. You got to get in the trenches. It's trench work, and it's hard, and it's tough, and it takes time, and it takes money out your own pocket. Who's going to do the work? That's the problem we have. And I'm going to leave it.
All right. Thank you. No taxation. Professor, I know you had your hand up a while ago. You want to go ahead and say something before I get to the speakers real quick? You there, Professor?
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you, man, because the sun only scratched up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to say something. I just want to give a shout out to Dana there, man, because she's last few days up in this space, she's been bringing a lot of things for us to think about and that we need to do research on. And we need to make sure that we stay up on our game and make sure that we don't just listen to what people are saying and bringing the rhetoric to just get you all hyped up and fighting mad and you lose control. So she has really brought a lot of knowledge to the space. I've been very appreciative of you coming up in here, sister. Thank you for bringing that knowledge up in here. And that's what our people need. We need people that can bring a sense of awareness, things that we need to do research on for ourselves instead of just listening to what somebody is bringing to us and we get all hyped up about it. We definitely need to do our own reading for ourselves. And we do know that politicians lie. That's what they do, y'all. Lawyers and politicians, they lie. That's what they are. They sharks. You can't believe anything these folks say. And by the way, for a side note, that Mimi that keeps hopping up here, whatever, she got another profile. So She been trolling for a while. Especially, she got profile Mimi. Then she got another profile Winner, which used to come up in this space back
Oh,
last
okay, that's her. Okay,
year. Yeah, that one.
all right. I thought that voice sounded familiar too.
Yeah. So that's what she does, y'all. She trolls, and I don't know why. She's like 49, 50 years old. But anyway, I digress, family. I want to hear what everybody else got to say. Peace, love, and power, and reparations.
All right. I see, and I'm gonna get to the new speakers, and then I'll get to you original. But I want to go ahead and I see, Irie and Miss Giselle is up in here, so let me go ahead and get to Irie. Irie, how you doing tonight? Been a little minute.
I'm doing good, my brother. Some love to you. I think Miss Giselle should go before me though, because you put me with another lady. If you put me with a dude, I'd be good.
Okay.
You can let Miss Giselle go, and then I'll go after her.
We'll let Miss Giselle go.
And I'll jump in after her.
Okay.
If that's what she would like, ladies first.
Miss Giselle,
Absolutely. Thank you. I grabbed the mic just because I know a lot of people talk about like help and like how many people help and the support from the grassroots. It is exactly the grassroots that got us to this point. The grassroots don't get enough respect or like enough props for what it had, like what we were able to do. It was the grassroots that erected Marcel and was even able to get him up to 100,000 in his campaign for that time. It was the grassroots that was making sure every 2 weeks we was online collecting, sometimes up all night, just doing bingo games and waiting for donations to come in to help our sister Tamara Shealy travel through those racist woods down in Georgia in an RV by herself. It was the grassroots that did that. We flew people across this country, not just collecting donations, but organizing and getting people to demonstrations that we've done across this country. It was the grassroots that started having education spaces online. It was the grassroots that kept California Task Force the head in the sand, like heads. They couldn't budge. That's what I'm saying. They couldn't. They tried a lot of things with us, but we showed up and we were shutting stuff down. We're the ones that forced the hand of Governor Newsom. When we went to D.C., it was our voices that, and Biden heard, because 3 days later, he signed an executive order for this. And it's something we didn't even look in and see if it's something that we can use. But he signed something for us back in 2021. 3 days after we did our demonstration demanding an executive order. It's for equity, specifically for us. So, and we are still pushing through. We had just this weekend, grassroots put that together. It was a lot of Black Americans who came together, whether people like it or not. They came together and they partaked in, they celebrated Black businesses. That's dope as hell. We've been doing demonstrations across this entire country. Now, sometimes we don't get along, that's one thing for sure, but when things matter the most, we do put the pedal to the metal and we make things happen. So, like I noticed with boycotts, certain things, because they have so much scarcity in our communities, that's why it's hard to really stick to a lot of these boycotts. But overall, people, if you really are honest and genuine, if you really stick to what you say you're going to do, you got to give them time also. It's people in a struggling situations. You're not going to see a lot of people with like super long money to do major things, but over time, like if they got time to get the money together, people will donate. I've seen it. We've been able to benefit from it. When I tell you we housed people, up to almost 50 people came to the demonstration that we had here in DC. And we only had a month to get that together. Now, again, that was back in 2021. And literally, we had a couple of weeks to get it together. We collected to get plane tickets for some people, train tickets for others, hotel rooms, pizza, all while fighting it out. So you can absolutely do stuff. I think the grassroots and like the people should get more respect because this shit ain't easy. Everybody's going through life while still trying to fight this system. So I think like collectively we have to give the grassroots way more respect because we would not be at this point at this point in the game if it was not for what we've done so far. Now the biggest thing is like us really sticking to what which is what you plan to do. Like if like for example, when we did the homeless drive, it was the grassroots on this app in Clubhouse that made sure I had about $1,300, and it wasn't a lot of people, but we was able to feed and give care packages to 25 people right in downtown Baltimore in those hoods. And those 25 people were sitting in that cold winter breeze where a lot of our people died. So grassroots absolutely get shit popping because we would not be where we are if it wasn't for that. And that's why I can always jump back in. Even when I get discouraged or disappointed, I can jump back in and say, you know what, this is bigger than all of us. And most of the time when it really goes down, most of us, we say, you know what, this is bigger than all of us. When it seems like we got time to play around, people do play around. But you know what's serious, and you know people that's not. And that's just how this it's been working for us. And I really think that we're gonna win as long as we stay focused. But we gotta know that like we don't have time to sit back. We don't have time to like live in clouds and stuff like that. We gotta be realistic and stuff. And we're just at a point now where we don't have a choice but to work together, and that's when we work the best. So I'll end with that.
Let me just jump in because I think that was
real quick. No taxation.
She piggybacked on something.
Hey, no taxation. Real quick. Go ahead and because Irie was next. Yeah, real quick.
I ain't gonna be long. Here's the thing. All that is crumbs. Now y'all don't see it the way I see it. All of it is crumbs. And that's what black folks been getting since forever. Crumbs. I'm saying take it to the next level. Is talk time over? And I think Black said that earlier. Talk time is over. Talk time been over. We can't keep crumbing ourselves to death. If it wasn't for, truthfully, Yvette Carnell and ADOS, this conversation wouldn't be had. And I was a part of it. And that's just true tea. So, a lot of people haven't been here as long as ADOS people have. A lot of people haven't been here as long as other people who were fighting for something, economic parity, as long as, some of you all have. I'm telling y'all that if you don't push it over the edge, if you don't push the envelope open, you're gonna crumb yourself to death. Who wants that? Not me. And I'm gonna leave it there.
All right. Let me go ahead real quick, y'all, and get it to Irie. Irie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, man. How you doing? Good. Man, I'll let the ladies go first, man. That was definitely better.
What's up now?
I appreciate it. Peace and love, brother. So with a Black American, shout out to you. Shout out to my man from Jersey. You already know it, the professor. A Black American writer. So I feel like it's more than just the Biden boycott. I think we need to boycott every Asian business as well. We need to boycott every establishment, every bodega. We need to buy more in bulk. Try to figure out where our people literally can utilize resources from other communities that literally don't harm our community. I think we need to go ahead and have our people boycott from different establishments, whether you go into the gym and work out, like the taco spot that's got low calories. Probably need to go ahead and actually boycott from that. separate from that. I think that we need to go ahead and start utilizing how to benefit one another and love each other more. Boycott and love to other groups. Hey, look, even the fire hall thing, so boycotting all of these other groups that don't serve anything to our community. We need to literally boycott any and everything that harms us. I think that right there is unbiased. It taps into every avenue. It doesn't matter if it's political, relationship wise, no matter what your relationship status is, it flows. No matter what your economic status is, your business relationships. If this business relationship, if this economic relationship, romantic relationship, mutual relationship, friendship, family relationship is harmful, we need to boycott it because we've been put into positions where we have to be accustomed to trauma and pain. And it's a recurring cycle. It's a reoccurring nightmare that every time we wake up, we're helping fund that which is literally parasiting off us. And a parasite doesn't do nothing but take the good from it and leave waste as a resource. So knowing that it's not a symbiotic relationship where the relationship's mutual on both sides, this one's parasitic. So anything that is parasitic, anything that is succubus, anything that is negative, boycott that. Whatever boycott means to you, some people call it a fast. Some people call it, I ain't fucking with you. Some people call it, fuck that, I'm good on you. Whatever the boycott is to you, make that shit a reality and do that. Because from the days of just going ahead and just saying that because my mama and my cousin and my auntie doing shit politically and we was Democrats and they told me the Republican Party is for white people. The Republican Party is a party that has been mostly for white people, but I can tell you this. It was the Republican Party that was over there helping free us and gave us special field order 15. So if it is one option we could go to the Republican Party with, it is letting them know, like, hey, are you willing to finish the deal? Are you willing to close the door, clean our country up, get rid of all of this illegal and sometimes legal immigration? Go ahead and shut all of these access down. And I think if we could find a political party or a political candidate, I don't care about the Democrats, I don't care about the Democrats. I really feel like we need a United American Party, to be quite honest with you, so we can know who's for America, what platform they have is beneficial to America, and then we don't give a fuck what you are, who you are, as long as you're American first and your mindset is everything, investment, militarily is protecting America, then your interest is mine, and we can share those interests and we can build on that. Whether you for or against reparations or not, that we can talk about that in an American conversation. Because again, the party is centered around America and no resources going to America. We literally have, where in New York, we have migrants who is getting $383 at one hotel for their food per person. 383 per person. It's a 5,000 people group there that's there. We literally did it. We did the numbers. I believe it's 1.9 million a week. A week? Something a month. At the end of the year, it's $649 million just for food for 5,000 illegal criminal migrants at one hotel. This is all what happened during the Biden and these people. So we need to boycott the shit out of these people. We need to tell them that money that you're giving to these illegal people that you call criminals, because when did illegal become something we're supposed to have our heartstrings open for? Because every time I grew up, everything illegal was bad and taboo. So why is illegal something that we're having charitable love and heart for? No, these people are illegal. They didn't follow the proper process. They in here going ahead and trashing the hotels, bringing guns, weapons, rape, and all this type of shit. No, we need to let them go to their border and treat them like we did Haiti and set up our borders like Israel has their borders, where you can't even come across a fucking fence unless you worry about a bullet flying over your head. And I think once we'll start doing that, when we remove the ability for them to utilize coming here and get food stamps, WIC, TAMP, and all of that type of shit, we literally say that that's the reparations fund. So when they say where we're going to get the money to pay for it, just take it straight from these illegal immigrants and give it to legal citizens. I think we'll go ahead and see a different America. But right now, boycott every motherfucking thing. I was about to host a room soon about how we're literally looking at another Latasha Harlins in South Carolina, where they shot that little boy in the back from the Asian community, and these people got a whole bill, and we literally are getting killed. So they get a bill, we get killed. That shit don't make sense. That math ain't mathing. Shit ain't adding up, and it's time to literally just say fuck all of this shit, because the LA riots, if you look at the people who was there, didn't really start with Rodney King. It just was a tipping point with Rodney King. It started with Latasha Harlins when she was literally claimed for stealing, and the detective went in there, just like now, it's like where we're living, the same thing. Even a racist ass LAPD said this person, she wasn't stealing. She came to the counter. That's not criminal intent. She didn't have the motive to steal. She had money in her hand. You shot her. She was walking away. Look at 2023. The camera shows that he put the waters back. He didn't even put it in his bag. And he ran from the store out of fear. And he got shot in the back. Asian didn't have tears in his eyes like he was sorry. He looked like he didn't give a fuck. And the Asian community gonna try to ride with their people. We need to fucking be hardcore in their neck right now. Every motherfucking business need to make real uncomfortable in our community, and we need to make them be treated like they treated us when we was climbing the corporate ladder and we're going to that white community with the picket fence, and they said no niggers allowed. That's how it needs to be. No Asians allowed in our community. No Asian, Chinese food, no hair, makeup. We don't give a fuck if we gotta order bulk. Find your Pan-African spot. Get you some shea butter and find some mixes online. There's some American Negro women mixing some shit up for you. There's some holistic or Bruja type women that's making some shit that you could hit up and find online. Goddamn, order from them. Might be a $20 or $30 more than what you like. Order in bulk. But goddamn it, every corner you can make, don't go in those stores. Make it clear. Make that shit look like they make it look. Just make it so where they even get out the community, and when they leave, we telling them, we making sure you don't ever come back. Not that you leave now because there's something hot and you're going to come back and mingling us. No, we're done with you forever. You shot one of our young men. You shot one of our young women, Latasha Harlins and his brother from South Carolina, in the back, both shot by you, by your hands. You got blood on your hands. You're dangerous to our community. And any politician that want to give them a hate bill off of some videos where nobody died, and they don't want to give us nothing, is telling us everything they need to boycott that ass too. Thanks for allowing me to go ahead and rant. I'm going to get back to playing some CDs.
All right. Thank you, Irie, for coming up here. I see we got my man Trenton up here. Trenton, you hadn't had a chance to speak, so let me go ahead and get you up in here as well, too. We're not going to do the space much longer. Yeah, we're going to go Trenton. We're going to go Trenton. We'll get Original. We'll get Dana, and we'll get Miss Giselle. Those are going to be the final 4 speakers for the night, guys, because we're going to be closing the space out. We've been here since 8, so let me go ahead with those speakers. Trenton, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight?
All right, brother. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Just like what the brother just said, man. Just boycott this whole thing, man. It's not even the bite in this. You look at this whole Democratic Party, man, and we don't got nobody to represent us, man. Even though we vote for them 90 or 80% or whatever, they don't represent us. And I just saw up there in Chicago, they just approved another $50-something million for illegal immigrants. And the dude Brandon, okay, they said vote for somebody. You got black people vote for to represent you, and voted in the black man. Look what he done did. The first day he got in office, he signed something for illegal immigrants, man. And this is a smack in our face, or black people face, man. And they don't fight hard for no nothing that we want. We say defund the police. Well, we can't defund the police. Okay, reparations. We can't do that either. Okay, well, what I'm voting for? You voting for voting rights and abortion, fam? It ain't nobody in Trenton, New Jersey, Patterson, Newark, walking around saying I'm voting for voting rights and abortion. So, fam, we just don't got nobody to represent us. So, at the end of the day, man, what I'm voting for more illegals to come over here and get free stuff off our voting. They treat black folks like a damn mule. You know what I mean? We do all the voting, they wag their finger at us and tell us, well, we can't do that for you. Here, I know what y'all want. Well, what we want. Y'all want environment protection and y'all want HBCUs. Fuck no. I'm sorry about that, but nah, fam. Boycott the whole thing, man. And I'm out. Peace.
All right. Peace, Trenton. Let me go ahead and get to Original. Go ahead, guys. Since we're gonna get ready to close it out, let's go about 2-3 minutes per person, and we're gonna be closing this space out. So, Original, you got it.
All right, let me make this real quick because a lie was perpetrated towards me Now, I just pulled up this platinum plan. It is still online. It's under Donald J. Trump platinum plan. Now, under Black economic empowerment and access to capital, under the third bullet, it says grow minority-owned businesses with additional tax cuts to stimulate hiring and investment. Okay? See, this is the trick bag that they use, and they use people to come in and push their lies. And under that, too, it says fueling access to capital for Black-owned business. Again, under the third bullet point in there, it says make the minority business minority business development agency permanent to appoint its leader to the assistant secretary of commerce level, create a sub office for African American affairs, and engage with private sector advisors to ensure real world plan solutions. And then under where it says more education opportunities, then under education African American can afford. Then it says spur innovation ecosystem by connecting minority institutions with the federal government with the federal government. Excuse me, my tongue getting tied here. Broad range of scientific and engineering research and development. And see, when it says these minority institutions, see, Georgia State, which has, I think, more Black students than Morehouse, probably Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark combined, it is considered a minority institution because it has a lot of Black people attending there. This is not something that I heard somebody say or that I'm trying to push somebody else's damn agenda. This is in this plan, and this is the trick language that they have always used, and they always have people that want to push their lies for them, telling you what you should do. When I keep telling people, read and discern for yourself. Do not allow anyone to tell you anything, including me. The word minority is in this document 3 times, and anyone else that tell you otherwise, they are lying to you. I don't care who they are lying. Now, I just gave you the 3 references there. See, that's how we always get caught up. When people tell you something, oh no, it says black. Yeah, it says Black on there. But it also has minority-owned businesses and other stuff about minorities in there. So that's the trick bag to make you think you're getting something, but in real time, these other groups are going to be able to just pull the door open and come in and take what you think you're getting for yourself. So this platinum plan does have the word minority in it 3 times. I don't care who tell you what. Anybody tell you anything else, they are lying to you to your face. And I'll land on that.
All right. Thank you, Original. Let me go ahead and get to Dana. Dana, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, well, first of all, just say my name because I know you were referring to me. And when I made that comment the first time talking about the platinum plan, I was even referring to you mentioning it was somebody else. But let me clarify something because apparently you don't understand what you're reading. Because where it says make the Minority Business Development Agency permanent, that is an existing agency. So whether you are a white woman, Asian, Hispanic, illegal, well, they're not really a part of that, Black, it's Minority Business Development Agency. And what that was explaining is within the Minority Business Development Agency, specifically have a sub-office solely for African American affairs. Because we don't have that right now. We have nothing specifically for us. So when you see minority, read the full text and understand what you're reading. Now, you want to go down to, because you are so triggered by the word minority that you're not understanding the whole full picture. Because even under education, minority institutions with the federal government's broad range of scientific and engineering research and development. That means part of, okay, engineering, scientific research, something that we don't have specifically for us because we're lumped in with everybody else under the umbrella of minority. So when in the Platinum Plan, when he has the word minority, he's saying this already exists, but within minority have a special subunit specifically for African Americans. Now I know how to fucking read, and I understand what I'm reading. So maybe this was your first time that you went each word to see if you counted minority. I'm actually reading the full context. So you're right. Don't believe what people say. Read it for yourself, but at the same time, understand what you're reading. And if you don't understand it, then write down Minority Business Development Agency, Google it, go look up that agency, and you see that we have nothing specifically for us. COVID-19 bill, we call that the Asian hate bill. But Roland Martin says it's COVID-19. The Asians don't have one. Yes, they do, because if you read the context in that bill, it says Asian Pacific Islanders and Indians, Asians. So read the full context and understand what you're reading. Please don't try to come up here and correct me. And if you're going to try to, say my name, because I'm very specific. If I'm specifically talking about somebody, let's not do that. And that's not even why I was raising my hand, honey. But kudos to no taxation, because I had mentioned this, I think it was last week or some time ago, when you held the space and she co-hosted. And I said that generation, which is her generation, they put in a lot of work. They know they know how to get stuff done. Which is why when I called the other day, I said the gatekeepers, they are part of her generation, but those are the ones who tethered and went over to the other side. So I appreciate everything she's saying, because anything you want done, you have to work hard at it. I appreciate Miss Giselle, what she said, because she was highlighting the importance of grassroots, and she's absolutely right. Grassroots, where you work, where you live at, whether it's one person or 1,050, it doesn't matter. You can make a difference, and grassroots are important, and it needs to be highlighted more. We need to create our own grassroots organizations locally and build up on that, but just make sure it's authentic to the people. Make sure whoever an alternative to push their career forward to get to DC and sell out their own people. But, I appreciate anybody doing grassroots. And it doesn't matter what group you align with, because I represent ADOS. And if somebody represents Freeman, that's fine. But the bottom line is we're all doing the work to benefit and progress Black America. We should not be fighting one another, because Jewish people, Asian, Indian, even the damn illegals, they have different groups, name different things, but it's for the same purpose of the advancement of their people. So I just keep that in mind. I care what the Freedmen is doing, but as long as they're doing it to advance Black America, I support it. I align myself with ADOS, because it's specific when it comes to politics locally and building that up to gain momentum for reparations and chapters throughout this nation. And that is how you do get a lot of things passed on a federal level, starting at a local level, and that is where the grassroots come into play. And thank you, Newstoter, for promoting my Twitter space tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is abortion healthcare ? And great space again tonight.
All right, thank you. Let me give a shout out real quick to Maintenance on Wheels, brother Maku, Be More Codified. So thank you guys for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead real quick. We got Miss Giselle, original. We got anytime. I'll let you come back and say something real quick because we're trying to close this space out for the night. So, Miss Giselle, go ahead.
Okay. Yep. And absolutely. Thank you for that, James. Because you're absolutely right. Everybody coming to AOS, but I don't knock the education and stuff that they did. I always say education got a lot of people activated. Actually got activated under Dr. Claude Anderson. I would listen to his lectures and Dr. Boyce Anderson and Tariq and Professor Black Truth and the Black Authority. It's a lot of people out here that's been putting in that work. And big ups to those guys because they've been doing it for decades. I know Tariq and just the Black Authority alone has been doing it almost 20 years. And that's why, like, when people like discredit them, like, you can't just start, you can kind of discredit someone, but people that got a whole track record of consistently that, like, you can't really knock that or even, like, go against, like, what they're to add to this push that we're doing. Also, like, from these people, I had to laugh because it's disingenuous to say that again on the grassroots what we're doing is crumbs, considering the fact that back in 2016 they wouldn't even utter the word reparations. Each politician would walk past us and say, what's that? What do you mean? Now they're compelled to say reparations. Not only that, because of the efforts and the educational platforms we've been pushing throughout this for the last half a decade or more, because of those efforts, we've been more people educated. We've been able to support for our reparations, same reparations that we've ever gotten before. And that's with everybody, whether it's the old school or the new school. Like, this is the closest we've ever gotten there and the most codified, even though we all have our own areas that we represent or whatever. This is the most codified we've ever been in this movement, and I'm proud of that. That's why if anybody try to get frustrated with that, because it's so hard to just do small stuff. And with these small things that we've done, we are winning. This is why we have things that's erecting now. Now it's our responsibility. If you got these task force erecting in your state, it's time for you to get busy, work. I don't care who put it in place. Now it's you. It's time for you to stay on the next to these people, and we will compel them to do it's what we've always done. That's how we went. As for the boycott, I'm all for that. And the best thing that we can do right now as a collective is get groups together in our community, and we completely block those. We can that'll be the most effective. It's different if it's one person in this state, 3 people in that state, versus you getting your neighborhood, you getting all of your homegirls. You go to a certain store, you stop shopping in that store. Y'all buy some stuff in bulk together, and y'all can cover the shipping cost at that point. We can find some Black-owned businesses, and we can go direct to major shipping. That's something that we can do collectively. Do bulk shopping for our hair products as women. That's something we can do on a Zoom. Everybody put their money in a pot, the drop off, and we can probably get together for some coffee or whatever to do the pickup. We can make something out of that. So I hope we can all, because I was getting some ideas as Ivory was talking. So I hope we can all come together and really be effective as we was like right prior to because we collapsed the Asian community business 6%. That's when we were having all of those videos of them beating up Black women on stage, in those stores, and throwing women out of the stores. Our Black people collectively shut down their business over the whole entire country by 30%. It's easy for us to do that. And again, now we have more access to things online, including Amazon. We can make that happen. So I land by saying all efforts matter. And peace, love, and reparations, family.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Giselle. Real quick, original, go ahead And I'll let you go ahead and say something. Then we're gonna get ready to close this out for the
Oh,
night.
if you not gonna go, then you know I'm a rebuttal.
You can rebuttal all you want. I do not allow dumbass.
Okay. No. Okay. Because we're not gonna you go and then she go, because I didn't really intend for the space to go this long, y'all. So I'm definitely trying to get up out the space. So I'm just being real with everybody. So if it's gonna get to that point, I don't know about this. So hold on one second. DJ, are you doing a space tonight too, man? I don't hear DJ, so he may not be in the space right now, because yeah, I ain't trying to be in here for another 10, 15 minutes. So I'm just being real. We've been going since 8 o'clock, and I know sometimes people come into space late. They come in around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you know, and they get on the mic and stuff like that. But I ain't trying to go too much longer. So I got stuff to do. So let me go ahead real quick.
Yeah, the space is already set up. I already set that up.
Okay.
But Black Majority, check your D of Black Majority. But go ahead, though.
All right. So
You quit, shut the space down, Todd.
yeah, let me go ahead and do that, because hey, I'm not gonna be doing a space tomorrow night, man. So let me just say peace to everybody. I will go ahead and I will see y'all probably Sunday night, but more than likely it'll probably be Monday. DJ does have a space. He has a part 2 of this coming up. DJ, that you got a part 2 coming up, or you just it's a general space?
Either part 2. Yeah, I mean, it's continuation of what we're talking about. And if Original and Sister Dana want to come in there and spit their bars at each other, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. Man, round 1, let's go. It's round 2 coming up. Go.
Well, yeah. Well, I need to. Yeah, I need to go ahead and get up off of here. So if I get a chance, DJ, I'm gonna try to.
Hey, bring some weed, Mimi. Bring some weed, boo. Not that having a body impact, though.
Let me give a shout out to everybody on YouTube, guys. Thanks for y'all coming through as well. Nightfall, Brooke, everybody that was over there as well, to Muriel, everybody. So shout out to you guys over there. So yeah, we're gonna shut this down. I'm gonna go ahead and let DJ start his space up, and I'm gonna try to make it to that if I can for a little bit. So peace. Thank you to everybody, the host, the co-host, the speakers, the listeners. And I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, y'all. So I'll see y'all probably Sunday night, or probably more than likely Monday. So everybody have a good weekend. Peace.